Oops. Hello. Wait. Okay. I think my mic is working. That's good. It's connected. Sometimes it doesn't always work. Oh, I have my hair up with this clip and it just looks like I have like a standing hair like this. Anyway, moving on. So I am very excited for today because we have two special guests. We'll be having a lot of fun and we'll be talking a lot. So if you are comfortable with it, you can ask questions. You can make suggestions in the comments. We highly encourage you guys to share the link, whether you're watching through Twitch or YouTube. You can share it that way. We have more people to geek out with today. Today, the stream is going to be approximately 3-ish hours because we have tons of things to discuss with you guys. So things we want to share. But with that, and let me see if I got this one correctly this time. So if I want to have two people on screen, I think I select this one and then I do this. Yay, it worked. Hello.
Hi.
Wow, you guys, I got your message saying that you guys were preparing for today, and I was like, I did nothing. I just started the stream, and I was like, my background is still the same as always, and you guys are all super professional with a nice dark background.
Oh no, this is just our stand that we use at conventions. It just doesn't have the posters on it.
Still looking professional, and that's what
Thank you.
All right, so we have a few things planned today. But before we get started with any of that cool stuff, would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Gwen. I'm the illustrator of the Bohemian Trials.
And I'm Chess, the older sister to Gwen, and the author behind the Bohemian Trials, which is a dystopian horror manga series.
Yes, I have it here.
Yes.
I cannot tell you how many like interviews and things I have done where I'm like, yeah, we have the book, and then the book is never anywhere near me. And this time I was like, it's here. I will have it right here for today. So we are going to talk more in depth about the Bohemian Trials, which I read now. And I was geeking out with my brother about it yesterday. He has not read it, but I was like, I've only read because it's 6 chapters, right? Like the first volume, 6 chapters, and I'm like, I already have people I'm shipping with other characters. I already have like conspiracy theories going on of what's happening, what happened to people's parents. So I immediately after I finished, and I was like, no, I need volume 2 now. So I'm very, very excited to be doing this with you guys and to read the next one. Now, the first thing that I was gonna do with you guys was do a superhero tier list, which I have been preparing in a very kind of scuffy way, but it's kind of cute. So I think it's good. However, I think something we didn't really discuss is that how did you want to do the tier list in terms of like which superhero is the strongest, which superhero would survive the world of the Bohemian Trials, which superhero will be not survive or like die in the world. Like anything in particular you guys wanted to do for that?
Strongest. Because I feel like if we do Bohemian Trials, it's hard because some abilities have been used before.
That might be coming
up Bohemian Trials, and I don't want to spoil.
Oh no!
Similar or something.
Yeah, I should have started it. Okay, how about this? How about
I think strongest too is really hard to argue. I think it should come down to more like what would be like the best ones that most people would feel like they'd prefer on the list, like if they could have it? Because like strongest is like a
So
lot.
best,
You'd be like,
best
oh,
power.
yeah,
just
like
overall.
best,
Okay.
like more like almost an opinion driven one, so that people can kind of debate a little more. Because when you go into like the strongest side, it's like you have people like Iron Man and Batman who have like tech to depend on, and then you have people like Superman who's like, my only weakness is a rock. So it's like it's a little hard to like do that.
Well,
So,
how about we do it not necessarily like who would survive,
okay.
but because your book, without any spoilers or anything, it's
Yeah.
sort of like what would it be like
Uh-huh.
if superheroes like were like existed in real life, right?
Yeah.
So I
We
guess
could
we can
do
do like which ones would be um or have the highest likelihood of being quote unquote normal in today's society.
yeah,
Okay.
I was gonna say we could do like a threat level thing where like who could blend in a lot better and who would have a much
Mhm.
harder time
Mm.
blending in.
So usually, okay, we'll go with that. Wait. Let me write this here.
Okay.
So we'll do it ability to blend in real life. Now, usually for a wait, how do I remove this? Oh yes. A tier list, we have the S tier, A, B, C, and D. So
Yeah.
because it's more like ability to blend, should we change them or should we keep them at S, A, B, and C?
Maybe we'll just change like top and bottom, and then obviously like all the stuff in between people can figure out, okay, this is like the scaling. Unless we want to name them all, I guess. Like first one be like basically human.
What we could do is we can change, for example, S. It could be sent to secret government lab immediately.
There you go.
And because there are some superpowers or superheroes that will have a bit of a harder time blending in, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are, I guess, are the ways that superheroes can blend? Nobody would ever know can be another one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had 4, so we need 2 more that are sort of like in between.
Let's see.
On the radar.
On the radar.
On
Yeah.
the radar.
Oh, okay, that's a good one.
A little suspicious.
I think the other one should be will give themselves away, like just because they
Yeah.
like forgot and they like, will break the door handle or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see, make this bigger. Okay, so we have 4 tiers that we'll be looking into today. And so we have, they will immediately be sent to a secret government lab from some experiments. Other ones where they are just a little sus, just kind of walking around, but there's something weird going on, so they might be under surveillance or something. And then we have they will give themselves away, either because of their superpowers or their personality kind of thing. And then we have that nobody would ever know.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Good.
Okay, so now let's see if I did this correctly. I was gonna do something else, but the tier list, like the tier list maker, is usually the one that I've used before. But then they have like so many ads around, and I couldn't figure out a way to remove the ads. And I'm like, we're not getting paid for any of it, so no ads. We don't get free marketing space. So I made one on Canva, and let's see how well it goes. Oh, there it goes. I think this one.
Nice.
Ooh.
Okay, so there are some heroes here that I actually don't really know. So I'm hoping you guys do. Because otherwise, not doing so well. Let's see. Okay.
Oh gosh. Okay. That's gonna
Okay,
be.
so we have the superhero tier list. We are looking into their ability to blend into real life. Um, I found your pictures. Because I think you guys sent me one where you guys are together, and I was like, no, I need two separate ones. But I found them. Okay, so we have a few people that are joining us. So welcome in. We are going to be doing a tier list. So feel free to send us your notes or your suggestions as to where we should put these superheroes. Because I'm more familiar with the Marvel ones for sure than the DC ones,
That's my.
and I think
The
I'm
DC
dependent
there
ones.
on
there
you.
seems to be more female characters on the DC as well in here. Because I just got like this
No.
huge like picture of like a bunch of like superheroes like both DC and Marvel,
Uh-huh.
and for some reason they didn't really add any female, because like Black Widow could have been here, and for some reason that's the like Captain Marvel could also be in here,
I
but they
see.
are not.
Yeah, I
I
see a lot more
see
DC
Supergirl.
ones.
I see
Bad
for Marvel. I see
Girl.
Invisible Girl.
Yeah. Black Canary,
Yeah,
Wonder Woman.
Who's the one in the bottom? Do you know, Gwen?
Are you talking about
The blonde one.
That's
Yeah.
Black Canary.
Okay.
this
Thank
one,
you.
yeah. We are just gonna write their names then.
Okay, sounds good.
um, all right. So we are gonna start with Spider-Man. Where should
Hmm.
we put Spider-Man?
Are we like including the character's personality as well? Like they'd get
We
caught.
have to, yeah.
Okay, I would say, he's a young teenage boy who's pretty snark. Mm, so I feel like he'd at least have to be in the top two. I don't know though if he's like
Like a little sus, or you say would give himself away?
a little sus or maybe give himself
Because
away.
I feel like give himself away could almost pass a little sus. It's like give himself away. It would be like you probably could hide better, but your personality or whatever you do gets
Mhm.
easier. So it's like in one way it's second, and one way it's third. So.
I would say probably would give themselves
Yeah.
away because he's not like destroying anything. He's not like super strength. They got like laser vision and stuff. Like,
yeah.
but I could be. What are your guys' thoughts?
I think I kind of want to put him in like he's a little sus, because at least in the last few movies he's not able to make like the web with his body.
Yeah.
So
Which
he
is how it was in the
which is tech, right? So
Yeah.
then he can kind of sort of get away with like, oh, it's just tech I'm working on, right? Like
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
that's sort of like the excuse that I would say. And he's also very, he is impulsive, like all teenagers are.
Yeah.
But also he's very very intelligent, so I feel like just
Yeah,
a little bit, where he's get caught a few times, but he has been able to like wiggle his way out of it.
Yeah, I think I would settle at a little sus.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
reason I said a little sus is yes, especially even like in the comics, at the 60s cartoons, like he is just this smart guy that's going and stopping crime. And he's a young kid at the same time. So it's like, yeah, he could easily give himself away. But given that he's a teenager and you see him really do a well job hiding that identity overall, I'd say the little sus part is probably the better one. Like, it's like, oh, boy genius over here making himself web shooters and stuff. Okay, that's a little.
I was also thinking, I was like, his first costume is very familiar, very similar to some of the costumes we see in the Bohemian Trials, but if
I
you
know
know
which
how
one she
specific.
is.
Yeah.
All right.
That would be so one of the little sus too.
Star-Lord.
I already feel like I already have the answer on that one.
He's human.
Well, that aspect, but also
Oh,
like
that's true. Well, is he though? Because he's half
Yeah, remember
whatever
the
his
Oh
dad is.
yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot about
I'm
that.
leaning onto the would give themselves away because yes, technically he led his whole life like full human until like we get all of the second film stuff. But with his personality, especially for the films, because I actually haven't, I don't think I've read any of those
I'll
comics.
be more helpful in the DC stuff.
Yeah, I would say definitely with the personality portrayal, he's gonna
Mhm.
fall and would give himself away, and not even, I would say not even accidentally, it'd be so on purpose. I feel like he would run like one of our characters in the series, one of our other characters in the series, who's a little more hard-headed, and stuff like that. In regards to, he'd be pretty loud and proud about it.
I think I know who you're talking about because I
Yes,
think they're my favorite character.
I
Because they have a smirk. They have a smirk, and I'm like, I like you. Like the first, like when they first like showed up, like the first panel of them showing up in the thing, and I was like, oh, you're my homeboy.
Yeah, got a
I'm
whole
gonna like
page
you. Yep.
just to his reveal. Yeah.
Yeah. Green Lantern.
Green Lantern.
He's
I'm leaning
also
on you for
human.
this.
He is using tech. It's alien tech.
Yeah.
So like,
I
would that count?
I don't. Okay, so the Green Lanterns, there's like 3 different ones, and I can't remember. I'm blanking
Like
out
all
on
the names.
Yeah, the first one, which is this one.
Oh, I only know Hal. That's the only one I know.
Yeah, there's Hal, Guy Gardner, and then I don't remember. I would say, because I can't remember his personality, because the other 2 are very different.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, yeah. Anyone in chat knows more about this character in particular? Give us a hint. Give us a help here.
Yeah, in my defense, I'm gonna use to argue like my limited remembrance of stuff is, well, we've been working so hard on like American manga that our knowledge is a lot more honed in on that side.
Because I grew up on like the old Justice League cartoons and stuff, but that one had Hal, I think, was the
that's how I know him. Because that's I've seen some of the like the DC movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not all of them. Well, also this wasn't really. I mean, I think it was the last time he was shown on the big screen. He was played by what's his face, the guy that plays Deadpool now.
Yeah,
Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, and he's also Hal, right? Or is he a different one?
Here, just
I thought he
Google
was.
it so you can get everyone's name.
We're Googling it because there's Guy Gardner, but he's super arrogant and he's nothing like the other 2. And then
all the Green Lanterns. Oh, that list got even longer than
it's good. So there are, Hal Jordan, Guy Gardner, John Stewart. Wow, there's a lot. Okay.
Oh wait, no, wait a second. No, in the Justice League cartoons, it's John.
Yeah. John is the one who I was thinking of. I was swapping their names. Then this would be Hal.
Mm-hmm.
I would say because there's so many of them, and the only way
stick with the majority personality that you know.
Pretty calm, pretty
just
chill.
like me in the
John
middle.
was super responsible. I would say nobody would ever know. Personally,
well, how would we react to alien technology in real life?
I think that they would.
I feel like it's easier to hide it.
Yeah, I think that's the only
Since
reason
it's not
why.
like attached on his person.
Right. Well, yes. Also that, and again, I guess similar argument as Spider-Man, where they can just say, "Oh, it's just technology. It's not."
Yeah.
Because wait,
too.
didn't because he's our kind of like real, like tangible, I guess, illusions. But didn't the evil guy in Mysterio? He created like all these like fake things, right? Like with a bunch of and I'm like, wait, we have all that technology, so kind of would be
he's a big one on the especially when you go like the older stuff before like tech was crazy. Like a lot of his stuff was based off like Hollywood, so it was building sets, it was like putting on a show and putting on this front to mislead people. And so that's why I would the second of the official Marvel Spider-Man had me so excited when he was like, okay, everyone, that's a wrap, and all the like extras are all like, oh yeah. I was all, yes, this is like the 60s cartoons that I grew up on. Like, this is awesome.
Daredevil. Ooh, okay. I've only watched the first episode, or the first 2 episodes, I think, of the show, because once again, I'm more DC person. But I would say he doesn't have an ability, right? He's martial arts, but he's like blind. That's kind of like the
Well, kind of a little bit, right? Like just the other senses are like more
super
enhanced,
heightened.
Yeah.
but like the reason for it is not actually something that's possible.
Okay.
I feel like the other struggle
Like in real
too
life.
Yeah.
is so many of these characters have been around for literal decades, and there's gonna be all kinds of like comic echolocation to the max. There's so many like things that have changed about these characters or been rewritten, and then they do the whole multiverse stuff, which just for me, I'm not a huge fan of, because it's like we can't stick to one story if we do a 15 billion universe. It's like, oh well, I can just do my own thing now. And I'm like, listen, we gotta get some consistency in here. I gotta have some official canonical, this is what's happening. And so I think that's also what makes it hard, is it's like, oh, am I basing it off a movie that I saw of them? Am I basing it off the like first comic? Am I basing it off someone's rendition that just came out? Like, so I'm dreading, like, I feel like there's going to be somebody that's like so vehemently into comics that might hear these things and be like, that was a bad take. And I'm going to be like, I'm limited.
That's true. I mean, that's one of the, I think one time my brother and I were having sort of like a discussion about Spider-Man, and I don't know if it was like somebody made a comment online that we'd heard, and that started the whole discussion. But they were like, yeah, for some reason, like any version of Spider-Man does not get to have a happy ending. Like they just have so bad luck, or like they like sacrifice themselves in some sort of way.
My favorite Spider-Man arc of all time is the is it Kraven's Last Hunt? It's his arc with Kraven the Hunter. It's like, it's older, so I don't think I have to throw out spoilers, but it's one of the times that you can follow like Kraven, one of the antagonists' death. And I mean, it was a dark arc. I think it's 6 parts, if I remember correctly. It's been a long time since I read them, but that was like what set me even down the direction of like wanting to do like a rougher, darker series. Was I was like, this is crazy. There was like heavy themes of like just like psychological problems, and like it was so good. So yeah,
but
no.
He also like at least once give him a happy ending, or like end up with the girl, like just once, At least he can be like, well, at least in another universe, I'm happy.
You're thinking of like Spider-Verse, like crying in the shower and
stuff. That's a little too realistic. So for this one, are we all in agreement that like nobody will ever know?
Yeah, I don't think anyone would. I don't think anyone would ever know. Like the echolocation to the max. I do think that there'd be moments where it would catch you off guard, but I don't think it makes someone be like suspicious that there's something bigger going on. They just be like, oh well, like obviously he's got probably better sentence than the rest of us since he's lacking in one.
Because in my head, I remember when I was like one of my classes, I asked. It was a neuropsych class, and I asked my professor. I was like, how can someone use their 100% of their brain? And then they were like, well, all the things that you see in the movies, those are fake because you're always using 100% of your brain. And I was like, no. I was like, I thought we would be so much cooler as humans. But I think there's like certain like misconceptions like that, where we just, the large majority of us will be like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like you lose one side, you train the others. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is that Mrs.
Invisible Girl?
Invisible Girl. Invisible Girl.
I'm still leaning on the nobody would ever know. I think end of this one too.
She's definitely because it's the group of mutants, right?
They'd be like, I caught you, and she's like, no, you didn't. Just goes invisible. I was never here. Like,
no, but the clothes, like she can't turn her clothes invisible. At least not when she's wearing like regular clothes. I feel like she would be like a little sus. Like if she were to like go into like the superhero route, I would say she'll be a little sus. Yeah, because she can steal I guess, to remove her clothes
Like,
and
if you're
like go
watching-
invisible if she
Yeah.
really needed to.
Just
But if she decided that no, she wasn't going to ever like become like a superhero or like help people, then like
Yeah.
nobody would ever know.
Yeah.
I would say a little sus too then for that. Like if they're watching like security cams.
I'll settle with a little
she
sus, I guess.
disappears.
Yes, there's 2 against 1. Unless someone in the chat has something else,
Has better arguments.
then
Yeah.
yeah. Batgirl. Well,
She's got no abilities. She's just agility to the max. So I would also say no. Anyone of
no.
like Batman's team.
Be a lot
would-
easier to
Yeah.
hide.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, even Batman, like, where's he? Himself, I would just kind of put in that nobody will ever know, because again, it's just
Yeah.
tech that he's using. He
Especially
doesn't
since
actually
he,
have superpowers.
especially since he gets the whole millionaire playboy narrative on top of it, so it's easier to like
Right.
off a lot of his stuff under that category.
Green
That's
Arrow.
yeah, I was gonna say that's Green Arrow.
He also
Well,
does
same thing, right? Like, he's just
Yeah,
human.
it's
Yeah.
uses arrows.
Yeah.
I mean, he would give himself away in terms of like he might be doing
Personality.
vigilante things
Yeah.
that he's
yeah.
not supposed to be, but also millionaire, so
Mhm.
he'll probably get home, like there will be no
Yeah.
consequence.
He's definitely more cocky than Batman and like Batgirl and stuff. So I think his personality could also be a little bit more like that. But okay, I absolutely know.
Poor Hellboy's going straight into sent to a government lab. Like,
I was like, there's no like nothing.
the whole premise of him is wanting to be as far away from what he really is. Like, yet that's like the whole.
But he
like,
doesn't have any sort of like ability to hide himself, right?
Yeah.
Not that I
Yeah.
recall.
I don't
but
know,
again,
but-
my comic knowledge, especially for most recent stuff, listen, I'm referencing Spider-Man 1960s cartoons. I think that already tells you like how dated I am on this stuff. But yeah, poor
Not that
Hellboy's
far.
not gonna get the.
So now we're moving on to like the aliens,
Yeah,
the superhero aliens.
He's even with like all the movies that he's been in, he's very lacking of knowledge. I feel like of like what's the norm in human society in the sense of like how to present himself, especially since like he's supposed to be like a deity.
yeah.
So I feel like he give himself away, and I think that there could be the possibility of
sending to a government
to the
lab.
government lab.
I mean, isn't that like almost the way things go in the first film? Even
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
like that's literally the whole plot of the first one. Well, plus like you're literally talking about like deities. Like I don't think that's one. I think it's just an essence that oozes from him that you could try to hide as much as you want, but I don't think that's gonna be something you could even really hide. I mean, again, that's like the whole first movie is that.
Yeah, and he would probably end up working like with the government. Like if the government decides that he's not necessarily a threat, like he'll still end up working.
Yeah.
We lost her for a sec. Like the audio for a sec.
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Oh,
Yeah.
there
Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Yeah.
Well, I cannot hear you guys anymore. Wait, hold on.
Oh.
The thing.
Hello.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, like it's just I have a habit of like moving the mic around, and every time I get too close to the core, it's like nope. I decide to not work anymore. All right. Ooh.
Cyborg. I don't think that this is fair just because so far I would have to say send to a government lab because he literally can't do anything about
His appearance.
Well, he will probably have been created at some sort of government lab, right? Yeah. This one is more of a, or I guess more in my hope of it could be a good, thing, like that he was sent to a secret government lab as opposed to the other two. I hope another alien, like kind of different.
Girl. She is a kind of also in the same like young adult. Got a little bit of pride and cockiness. Confidence. Yeah, that's the term I was looking for.
Exuding confidence, a little bit of a hubris.
She's just as strong as Superman, I believe. I can't remember much.
I think so.
So I would.
But she's not as concerned as Superman in hiding her identity, is she?
Yeah. She definitely goes and like is always around. She's a lot more like likes to go out to different galaxies and stuff. And you see her a lot with a lot more aliens, whereas Superman, I feel like, is more Earth central.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but also, like, even if she were to be sent to like a secret government lab, I feel like she could just like easily escape. Because, like you were saying earlier, like there is one rock that can like break her powers, and it would take a while for us to figure out what it is.
Yeah.
So a little sus, or will give themselves away.
See, I feel like because like I was saying earlier, the interpretation of those two kind of like shift it from one way would give themselves away would be 3, and then other ways it could be 1. And I'm kind of in 2, and I feel like it would be step 2 in this one. And I feel like would give herself away would be the more likely.
Yeah.
But like it would be ranked number 2 on that scale of are they going to a lab? Like then
it's for different reasons than Star-Lord.
Yes, very different.
She would give herself away. Yeah, Iron Man.
Okay, yes, it's all tech based, but especially with the films that we've had all these decades, we've gotten someone who
everybody knows,
millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire, playboy.
Yeah, everyone knows that Tony Stark's Iron Man,
right? Because he said it in a press conference. Yeah,
even just in regards to the films alone.
Yeah,
like if we use that as the judgment point, it would be like. They would be like putting those 3 poor people in the government lab, and he'd be like, well, you can't take me because under it all I'm still a man, but I'm Iron Man. Like, so I'd say also would be like would give themselves away, but there's no consequences really for him, and he would use that to his advantage for sure.
Yeah. It's kind of even if they were to be doing vigilante stuff because they're so rich, there will be like no consequence out of like
yeah.
Captain America.
Well, I mean, he was created in the lab.
Yeah.
I mean, again, kind of like for slightly different reasons, more kind of like similar to Cyborg, where they were created by like government.
And also like he's from an entirely different era. Like that first initial wake up, he is not going to blend into society like well at all. Like he is so out of time right there and then that
Yeah, that one you could send him to a lab. He does.
No, but he can change himself though.
He can change himself. He can.
Would he like eventually?
But is he gonna keep that front up forever?
Well, he's very, very smart, and he's very like logical.
Do you think he could fall into a little sus, or do you think it's just too obvious still at the end of the day? Because you have a better judgment on this one.
I kind of want to put him like no one will ever know. Again, the only reference that I have for this character in specific is the Justice League Unlimited
cartoon, right? Yeah.
Which is like he was very, like you said, like very logical, very like
yeah. I think I could agree with nobody would ever know, but if her name is Miss Martian. I don't know. I can't remember her relation, but if she was on here, she would 100% be sent to a lab. She's like a high schooler.
Oh yeah.
That's
Young Justice. Yes.
Someone commented that they're a mind reading detective that can shapeshift. So
that's true.
The mind side of things get away.
True. Yeah.
He's gonna be like, oh, they think I'm sus.
Human, like looking person that's gonna make it to nobody would ever know. And you know what? Flipping props to him.
Yes.
Wolverine.
I would go to the nobody would ever know side, and the only reasoning for it, like obviously you can argue like different time points of him like having this, you know, like whatever, but just in the generalized personality driven, side of things. I would probably say the nobody would ever know side, just because of how little he wants to deal with everyone's stuff. Like he would rather just
live his life.
not deal with it.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, wasn't he like, I think in one of the Wolverine movies, wasn't he like living in the middle of nowhere, Canada or something?
I can't remember where, but I do. The only thing I think of, it's not the best, but the only thing I think of is, oh gosh,
was it when they tried to go to recruit him?
Yes. Is that which one is that one? That's First Class, right?
I can't remember.
I think it was X-Men First Class. He has a cameo in it because they went to try to
yeah.
And then he says something not very nice. And they leave. Like he's like, no, I'm not doing this. And so that's why my brain goes to that one.
Yes, but he doesn't age, or he takes like 300 years to age. So like nowadays with the technology that we have, like would people find out that he's just the same person?
He could do my brain was gonna say he could do like the vampire thing, just relocate all the time.
yeah, he's just be
nobody will know.
You have like a bunker somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I still feel like I could push the nobody would ever know. I feel like it'd be hard relational wise, like long-term relationships. But I feel like at that point, those are the few that could know. But it's a matter, we're talking like the general populace. Can they hide it? I think he can hide it.
Yeah.
Deadpool's.
If that personality.
Wait a minute. I mean, personality, he immediately will give himself away.
Yeah.
Wasn't he also created in a lab?
Oh,
he had. Isn't the root one? Was he had cancer?
Yes, right? I believe so.
Okay, and like all the his body's like perma scarred.
Yeah,
because
of the cancer. Well, okay, so my understanding of this character, anyone in chat, is that I'm wrong, please let me know. But my understanding is that he does have cancer, and they gave him this sort of like experimental thing at a lab that was, I think, totally illegal to do. But he's constantly healing himself.
Yeah.
That's what he saw scarred.
But there's no hiding something like that.
Mm-hmm.
In regards to also, like, how bad he gets injured.
Yeah. Do you think he will make it out of the lab? Because I feel like Cap could potentially make it out of the lab.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't even put him in the lab. I'd put him in would give himself away because of the personality.
Because he did get out of the lab in the first one, I believe.
Oh, when he had no mouth. Is that what are we talking about?
In the first movie? Yeah, where because he was made in the lab in that one.
I don't remember anything out of the first one, to be completely honest.
I can't.
Well, he's
one time.
He's like a very good mercenary, and also he is constantly healing. So even if you kill him, he'll just come back and get out some way.
Yeah.
I would say that would give himself away just because of the personality.
Is that Aquaman?
Just have room and board.
Actually, that's true.
So
hungry. Call the police.
Yeah.
I have a report to make. It's me.
Yeah, exactly.
Come get me. Is that Aquaman?
I think so.
Yeah. Oh, we should
there. I know this isn't the answer to the question, but if I was like able to breathe underwater and do fish stuff, I would get myself away. I'd be too busy like, I'm a mermaid.
I'd be going to every aquarium.
Freeing out the dolphins and fish back to the ocean. Well, he can probably go into like the deep sea, so I don't think they'll be able to hold him in a lab. But he will definitely be a little sus.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think a little sus, just because that's a pretty OP thing. Like imagine like competing in swim.
Also, like if he's in the ocean, what could you really do?
Yeah. Like I was gonna say on land, like he's still pretty like good boy personality, right?
I think so, yeah.
Like he's up there more in the
water.
generic like that's the thing is he's mostly in the water too. So maybe the sus side.
Yeah. I would just
wait, can he like also breathe under fresh water? Or is he like more of a salt water?
I think it's
that's a good question.
Maybe I'm wrong.
You know how like river fish.
No, I totally know. I don't know. I don't know.
That
the
is a
answer.
good question, though.
I would expect you to know, Gwen.
I-
Just kidding.
It was Batman was my thing. Okay.
I know. My
That's what we
my
invited you here
hyper
today.
obsession was Spider-Man growing up, and then Gwen's was Batman. So and those were like the first couple ones we went through. So we're like, okay, we gotta
Batman
remember.
was mine as well growing up. Yeah.
Yeah. The Dark Knight series are all very good.
The Flash.
Flash.
I
love
The Flash.
The show.
Well, just the character.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like going
yeah.
back to like
But
the
the show's
cartoons
also good.
even.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, because he was also very good in the cartoons as well. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! In Young Justice, I had like when I was little, I had the fattest crush on Kid Flash. That was like, yeah, yep.
Yes,
Yep,
yes.
Wally was best Flash. Okay.
Yeah, I was really gonna say like I was gonna say it's one of the few superheroes that as a kid it was like I like him.
I like this one, yeah.
I like this one.
I feel like he would give himself away.
Yeah.
Because he kind of has like a similar personality to Spider-Man, I'd say, in the like confident side.
Yeah.
That is not so much the
especially
teenage
the
side,
very
he's not a teenager. But
I was gonna say especially like the more like root level Spider-Man side of things.
Yeah.
Because you know there's been some renditions of him.
Well, hold on. Because I feel like because doesn't he work as a scientist? So I feel like he'll still be like a little sus in some ways. Because okay, so for Spider-Man, we said that he could probably just like say, "Oh, it's just like science class or whatever, an experiment, right?
Yeah.
That I am doing." But he is also very kind, so he's very willing to help people, which I also see in Flash as well.
Yeah.
So that's why they would be like a little sus, but they wouldn't necessarily like get caught.
I feel like if I put Spider-Man and Flash in a room, I'd say I feel like based off personality, the one that would have higher chances.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's very.
Yeah, the one that would have the highest chance of giving themselves away between the two would be the Flash. Just on, I feel like between the personalities, like yes, especially like Root Spider-Man was very like snark because he had the brains behind it, especially like at the very beginning, right? And like yes, you could argue Flash is the same, but his personality is a little bit tweaked, just a little more on that confident side of the curve. That I feel like it's hard to gauge where he would fall in that. Like, I feel like if I'm putting him in Spider-Man, I feel like comparing him to Spider-Man, I feel like it makes me want to put him in a separate category almost. Does that make sense?
Wait, what was Wally's career or profession?
Wally West.
Yeah.
No shame in Google searching.
That's why he was created.
Yeah.
Wally West's job. Let's see.
If it says the Flash, I will laugh.
Okay, I know that, but what was DC gives Wally West the perfect job for his alter ego, but how is this like super new? Probably 772. Yeah. Yeah, this was something about this is a reposition on work.
One thing I always wonder about just superheroes in general is like, how do they have money to do stuff? You know what I mean? Because a lot of them.
That's something that's like always made me wonder, but it's always like it's just a story.
Yeah, when we were doing Bohemian trials too, we were wanting to make sure like, okay, we have to take into account all these things, like, and not even just powers. Our big pride is we really, really leaned into, okay, but where are the limitations lying in these things? And like, where can we really restrict these characters? Because we didn't want like the Superman dilemma where it's like one thing is their weakness. We wanted like them to be, okay, real people were born with superpowers. And what these superpowers can do, where the limitations lie. And in turn, we were also thinking about, okay, what's their normal lives like? And especially when you're thinking about a society that's, for Bohemian trials, that's completely against them for existing. Like, you're going to have to learn how to blend in a lot better, and you're going to have to live more blended. And so we had to think about those kind of things. I mean, this is detail that's already told. It's not in the story, but it's put on like the character info page, so it's not like it's like a major spoiler or anything. But like Laya works at a fast food restaurant. Like it's like girls try to make ends meet while she's going to college. So it's like it was fun doing all that stuff because you have these questions when you're reading these comics and stuff. Is like some of them, yeah, you do get that kind of in-depth look, and then others like it's just like you're seeing them on the superhero side, but you're like, what about the rest of the time? Like, what are you doing? How are you buying things?
Exactly, right? Because
Yeah.
sometimes, like for example, Wolverine, you see him sort of being like in the run or like in some sort of like forested area in the middle of nowhere, and then he's like buying stuff. But I'm like, yeah, but like, where'd you get this money from?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
What are you doing, dude?
yeah, you can't
What'd you
really
do?
have a bank account gaining interest and then be like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm, like, yeah. Okay, so where are we for
What's
for
your
Flash?
final consensus?
I
I'll
would
trust you.
say would give himself away, I think.
Okay.
Because I don't think they'd catch him to put him in a government lab.
True. Well, I mean, at least not at first.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
kind of
learn-
like just
they
try to
something.
figure out. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
The Punisher?
Yes,
Yeah.
that is
Okay,
Punisher.
I don't know anything about Punisher.
Honestly,
Neither do I.
I can look at him and say that's Punisher, and I think that's the extent of my
No,
fictional American.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyone in chat know anything about this character? Where would you place him and why? In the meantime, we can go with
Yeah, you know this one, Black Canary.
Black Canary.
Mm-hmm.
So her ability is like a banshee ability. I loved her.
Oh,
as
that's
a
cool.
Her character is so awesome. Yeah.
She is such a cool character. She needs some more light on her character sometimes.
Do you feel like you do that one?
I would even say she nobody would know.
Oh, really? Okay. I'm asking because I don't know. They know his identity in canon. Okay.
Well, yeah, but so do
What
they
is-
for
what
Iron
is-
Man.
what-
But
what
where would
is
you
the
place
extent
him?
of his? What does he do? He punishes people.
What's his
In
job?
what manner? My
I wanna
my
say
father would
he's
be
a
very
vigilante,
upset with me
right?
right now. Yeah, that's what my brain was thinking, but I didn't want to be like,
'Cause
oh well,
I
this
don't
is
think
what
he's
he
like
does.
a ability. I think he's kind of similar to.
You know what's bad is if you asked me when I was like 6 years old, I could have told you every little detail about him and like everyone else because because my dad had a like a bunch of the like thick comic old textbooks for Marvel, and there was one that I was constantly in all the time because it was Spider-Man emphasized, and obviously I had to. Are you serious?
Of course.
I was obsessed with
all
it.
of them.
It got to the point I was like, by the
you.
time I was 4, I could have told you every single character by name. I could have told you what they did, what they do. So my dad would be very ashamed of me right now with the fact that I'm not, because I know his pictures in there. I know Punisher's in there. So I used to be able to tell you everything about him. Now, not anymore. So Pew Pew Vigilante Man, Human Man. I mean, it's back into the easier to hide. But
he did say that like everyone
knows
identity. So would it just be give themselves
Well,
away?
because wait a minute. Well, at least in the Netflix one, it says here when his wife and children are murdered after witnessing a mob hit, an FBI agent becomes a judge. He's an FBI agent?
Bro's working with the government.
What?
He is the government.
He is the government.
Well, yes, he becomes his own sort of government. So
in the labs.
I will say a little sus, but not in the superpowers, but more on the you're doing illegal stuff kind of thing, or in the give themselves away again for the illegal stuff.
After that final edition of TBH, he would kill any cops that go after him. Just make a point. I feel like we're in the give himself away kind of category.
Yeah.
So that's where he's different from Daredevil, I'd assume.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he's gotten because my memory
a lot
sort
more
of
brutal
came back. Yeah, because his only like mission is to like avenge his like wife and children, right? Like he doesn't care about anything else. So he'll be like, I don't care if everybody knows who I am.
I'll need to go into the actual comics of him now because that's my favorite. That's why we went.
Yes, and then come back and then we can do this again.
Yeah, then we'll do this again. We'll do an updated one. I'll go read up on everybody, refresh my memory, and come back. Okay, I've done my research. Okay. Anyways, what you're saying for
Black Canary.
I would say probably nobody would know, just because, I mean, like, she has full control over like
when and how
she uses it.
That's super cool though.
And she's not necessarily like a hero, right? Like, or initially.
I think she's more so a vigilante than she is like a superhero, because she's part of the Justice League, but
I feel like eventually.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't it because she had a thing with what's his face?
Yeah, with Green Arrow. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like, it's like it became a family thing.
Wonder Woman. I feel like this is kind of similar to Thor.
Like send her to a lab, kind of.
Send her to a lab because she's also
the lab.
Yes.
Dude, that'd be so convenient.
But she actually, I think the reason why Thor would end up in the lab is because he doesn't have any understanding of like humanity. But I think she does, right?
Yeah,
So she'd probably be able to hide it.
Yes. She technically Wonder Woman's alter ego.
Like by the way she lives and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
this isn't related, but the 3 or 4 part, they're all like hour plus, so they're like almost films basically. Of the, let me find it real quick. Let me look it up. Continue while I look this up.
I'm trying to think. So, I mean, I feel like she doesn't really have any. She doesn't have like an alter ego. Like the only time she's like Diana is really around, like her friends. Because I can't remember if she has.
Well, because I'm like, wait, what's her purpose again for being in the human world? Like just because, but she can always go back to whatever dimension she's from.
Yeah, she's an. I know she's an Amazon. I can't remember though. It's funny because I'm like, oh, I grew up watching the Justice League and stuff, and then I forget like you don't really follow the daily lives. It's just them as their heroes. So
it's also like details that come up once and like never again, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Also, or should we put them in like the same place as Aquaman? Because I feel like if she had to fight like something, she's very justice driven. I feel like, so she would like try to
hide who she is.
Yeah, but then she will always like she'll just go back to home and not get caught.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to place her in the same.
I feel like it's hard too because when we say like not get caught, it's like okay, but also you could say the same for Thor because like who's gonna hold down the deity with his hammer?
The only thing
you like pull my hammer and they drop.
Is she doesn't hide. Well, Thor doesn't hide who he is either.
Yeah,
I guess it's just the way that the different in both like, although it's like similar in the sense of them being like having like ancient abilities and stuff.
Yeah,
the world responds to it differently, I think, in both worlds.
Yeah.
So I would say,
if we go with sort of like the initial, like what will happen as soon as they figure out that she has superpowers, then it will be like to try to send her to a lab, right?
Yeah. I would agree with gives themselves away just because she doesn't hide who she is, and because they do have a different reaction
with her. Then
I mean, eventually she'll end up in the lab.
Yeah, eventually she'll.
As it goes.
They can hold her. Yes.
I was gonna say too that my side tangent that I was trying to think of was, if you haven't watched them, there's a trilogy films, and it's Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths. It was so good, and the first one, the beginning, focuses on actually Flash.
Oh, I haven't watched that yet.
The intro is crazy alone, so you just add that to your watch list if you haven't, because my husband and I binged it in like a day. It was so good. It was so good.
No, wait, I think is this where they have like another Flash and one of the Flashes dies in one dimension and then all of them turn evil? Is that the one? Or am I thinking of
I
something else?
I want to avoid spoilers. I think it's a
Oh,
different
oops.
one.
No, this is old. You should know by now.
But
I think that's a separate movie.
it was
Okay.
it was more
'Cause
so
there's a bunch of
exercising
cartoon
his it's just cool. You just gotta watch it. You just gotta watch it.
Because I watched
good.
we bought like one thing that was like all the Batman cartoons, including like the redhead one, and then the one where like the martial arts, where it's like where he gets his martial arts from, and then that Robin, because there's so many different Robins. Like there's a bunch that, I mean, all of them are fantastic. I haven't had like, they're all great, but
Superman.
Superman.
I mean, he does try it a lot harder to like blend in and not.
Yeah, I was
gonna say the
Little
different
Sus
identity
one.
as well.
Yeah, I would agree with Little Sus.
I was gonna say Little Sus, just because he's so by the book. He is such like, he's a good guy mentality. He wants to help people. I mean, he's the poster child of superheroes.
I would say he would be able to not get caught, but just because his ability is so much, he would be under the radar.
He'd just be constantly trying to help people. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Which that movie was
Aquaman.
awesome.
Oh, I can't remember.
I just feel like straight bro, like
Yeah.
just straight to the lab, like, because they can't do anything about their wings, right?
I don't think so.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at the picture with the wings and I'm going, what do you mean it's straight to a lab? I'm so I can't.
Because like, yeah, like that's normal, right? To have wings.
Yeah, this is a normal person.
Yeah, I would also agree straight to the lab.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, like, is he alien?
Yep.
Is that Human Torch?
I think so. But it could also be like the one baby from The Incredibles. He kind of looks like him.
Yeah. Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he can ignite and not ignite.
You know more about him than I do.
Well, I was gonna say, like, it's not like he's like, right? He's not permanently stuck like that. But no, he just on off, right?
Yeah, he can turn it off, but his personality.
No. I was just recentering myself on what he can do.
Yeah.
But yes, no. His personality side definitely goes into the category that's the most popular right now, which is would give themselves away. But
wait a second. But then for the like all of the Fantastic Four, were they working? I don't think it was a government lab necessarily, but they did have a lab, and there was sort of like that's how they got the superpowers, right? Like some horrible accident. So I was like, would they still be like, because they work in the lab?
I remember
so they would just probably be kept in the lab
with the Chris Evans one. So it's been. Oh yes, Accident in Space. You're correct. Oh my word, that just sent me like spiraling. Okay,
I just remember Explosion.
Because it was like it was basically like consequences they were not expecting to be the issue or come into hand, and come into play. Oh my gosh, holy cow! I can't believe it. Like how quickly that just made everything click in my brain. Like whoa, yeah, no, oh my gosh, it's been so long. Okay, it's all coming to me now. But yeah, so it wasn't like just intentionally trying to do something to their bodies in that regard. It was more so like it was we're trying to think of the word I'm looking for.
I don't know.
It was more like
an accident in space.
Well, an accident in space, yes. It was more like consequences they weren't expecting kind of thing.
Well, yeah, but then like something like this, like the government would definitely know. You know?
Yeah. I feel like too, like when it comes to the escaping side of things, even though he can whoosh 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 whoosh, like I feel like between him and Invisible Girl, like she can definitely have an easier escape route, I think, than he could have.
Bursting into flames.
Because you're just gonna see a ball of fire in the sky, like
And I feel like also though, because they're all scientists in some sort of way, so they will probably still stay in the lab to try to figure out.
We haven't even got our sciencey character. Not that kind of scientist. No, she's nowhere near that, but she likes the sciences. But
And I'm like, should we move this one over here? I'm like, I feel like we need, yes, they will be sent to a government lab, but here's the reason why.
Yeah.
We need like subcategories.
And this is how they get out, and this is
we should have done like who would take these people to the government lab, like the Punisher, and then who would be like who would work in the government lab, and then who'd be the experiment in the government
we have
lab.
a separate tier list below, and that just breaks down that list on that one.
We will be here all day, like so categories of everything.
That's Shazam, right?
That's
He's
Shazam.
a 10-year-old boy named Billy.
10-year-old boy named Billy.
Well, he is 10 years old.
Yeah.
But he also Shazams out of
Yeah, that's kind of a
So-
hard thing. I love his character, honestly. He's a great character.
I kind of got a little sad that they didn't continue with the movies because I feel like
Yeah,
they were good
yeah.
movies. Yeah.
Zachary Levi was great casting too. Great casting.
Yeah.
I loved him as Shazam. I was like, oh, this is great. This is great. Yeah. Okay, I was gonna be like, oh, but this one has 20 people. But then I saw that the bottom two categories are both even. So no, it's not too bad. It's just so many people can hide a lot better than we thought. But also half of the starter ones were, well, they're actually just a person.
I feel like a little sus because the one advantage he does have is he could go back. He has to like actually trigger his.
And what are they gonna do? Arrest a 10-year-old?
Yeah. I feel like I would
think, right. They're looking for an adult guy, and then like they'll just find a kid.
Yeah. So I would
little
just say a little sus.
They'll be like, "Hey, what are you doing here?"
I have homework.
I was taking
Why are
pictures
you
of my
stopping me on my
superheroes.
way.
So I didn't. I think
Cyclops?
out of like the, out of all of the other X-Men, other than Wolverine, I was like, I wanted to add him because he can't necessarily hide his abilities because like it's just his eyes, right? So this one's like a lot closer to some of the characters in the book, so I was like, I don't want to go to
okay, I see what you're doing. Yes.
So he can't hide them.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just say like he would just probably be sent straight to the lab.
Yeah,
be like,
get behind that.
He'd be like, take off your freaky glasses. I can't take them off. No. Okay, well then you come with us. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
I was about to say something and I was like, wait, that's major spoilers. I don't think I can say that. Okay.
We did it!
Yay.
Oh man, I just thought, what if like Matt and Steph say this? I was like, Matt might have some opinions on what we say today if he sees it.
I'm gonna publish it on our Discord and in our socials just to see if people agree with us. And see what they say. Okay. Anyone else in particular that is your favorite hero that we didn't get to place in any category today? That you're like, but I want to talk about him anyway.
I mean, I feel like we got a lot of this.
Yeah, I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of these sort of heroes, they kind of fall within like some sort of category, right? Like you have like the superheroes that they cannot hide their superpower, so they will immediately be sent to the lab, or like some that they are trying very hard but they're still very, for a lot of these they're like just very kind and they like be able to like help, and that's why they're a little sus.
Yeah.
And then we have the personalities that will be like, yep, I am Iron Man and there's nothing you can do about it, right? And then you have the ones that nobody will ever know.
Yeah.
There's definitely a personality type for all of those, I feel.
Yeah. And it's funny because like some of them are in, like a bunch of them are in their category for like different reasons than other people in the same category, which is cool to see too. Like you just get to see there's such a wide range on the concept of like heroes and people with superpowers. And so it's like, you know, we can even go, oh yeah, same goes for our characters, you know. So it's cool to see for sure.
I was just about to say, I was like, yeah, so what about for the characters? And oh wait, you can't say that.
Yeah, can't really categorize them just in case we know a little too much. You know, 8 years of planning a series. I think
I tried, you guys. I tried. I think it's this one. Yep. All right. Well, that was a lot of fun. I was actually like a little bit concerned because I thought it was gonna take it eh, like it was gonna be like a really fast thing, but we had great discussions though
Oh yeah.
We're
on
going
them.
to
So we're good. Now, the other thing that I wanted to do, which I didn't prepare because I didn't have it,
Mhm.
is the you had mentioned the personality quizzes. And I don't know if you have that easily available right
Oh.
now
Um,
for us to do it, or we can sort of like
was it like the rendition of what we do at our table?
Mhm.
I have that information on hand, but how exactly are we? How would we execute it? Is my question. Because is this for like people to find out who they would get? Is that what it is?
where we are going to just kind of like, I guess, do it ourselves.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Unless somebody in chat volunteers
Wants
to do
wants
with
to
us.
try it.
Yeah. So I guess I can just continue doing it
Oh, yeah.
here.
Pictures of the thing on my phone right now, so I already have all
I
those.
do
Yeah, it's our main 6.
oh 6.
Unless we were trying to do something else.
N-
But I
no,
have
no.
the personality descriptions for what we do at our table. I guess I probably should I like explain what our series is and stuff real quick too, since that's kind of prevalent to what we're doing. That might help a little bit. Because what we
Well,
have
because the other thing that we can do is we can have the panel. Because when I
That's true, we can do
created
something
the thing, like we don't have like a set time for doing anything.
Yeah.
Today it was just these are the times we'll be live. So we
Okay.
can do the panel first and then we can do the personalities, because then all of us will have a little bit more of an idea of what the who the characters are and
Yeah.
what sort of what to expect kind of thing.
Did you have a preference on also for the art contest winners when we wanted to go over those as well?
That, yes. Also, I found this like cool thing where I can just upload the picture here and then like show them.
Cool.
So I wanted to leave that towards the end.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was
Now, if you guys were okay with it.
That sounds
Okay.
good.
Wait, I did have some questions that I tried really hard to not write questions that I personally wanted to know about, because I read the thing. I wanted to leave it more like general questions.
Mhm.
So we did have this sort of like conversation before last week, because we did a sort of like a mini Q&A for our Discord community, and I found out a lot of information, and I there's some things that I for sure want you guys to, or I want to ask about, that way everybody knows about it, because wait a minute, we have a question. I wanted
Cool.
to ask Justin, when if you had to put the characters from the Bohemian Trials in the tier list, who would be on the list? That manga is really great. Can't wait for volume 2. I
Yay!
asked that question.
On a tier list. Like, I'm
Like,
On
I
the
think
tier
that
list.
on the one we just
Yeah,
did?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we could probably do those ones.
I'm
Can
thinking. I'm trying to
you,
think if there's anything
like,
that-
without
Yeah.
spoiling it?
Yes, there is, but if we just take it surface level, then it won't.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
one moment.
without taking, well, okay, here's what we can do. Without taking into account personality or like anything that's done in the story, it's just the name of the character and their superpower.
Just the flat ability.
Yeah, if people were to have find out that
And we
they
can
have-
take advantage of the personalities. and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
Especially because of this, the one scene in chapter 3 with Izzy. I was like, personality's already telling me.
Yeah.
Like.
Yes.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
all
we
right.
can do that.
So who would you like to start with?
Should we go backwards? Parker up.
Yeah, we could go Parker.
Okay, we'll go Parker up.
Wait. Can I don't know if, because I know they're in here.
Yes.
Okay, where's the thing?
You want
I
me
just
give
wanted
you
to show like a picture
Do you have
of
access
them.
to the posters that you can send?
Oh yeah. Do you want me to send you just the? I can send you the posters real quick.
Oh,
So
yeah,
you have like official
yeah.
character art. Let me do that for you real quick. I'm replying to your link you sent for this. So just so you know, it's a reply email. Let me get.
Oh, email. Yes.
This one, and then this one, and then this one. Beautiful. There we go.
So many questions.
And then it's
Like,
loading.
I feel like I'm like last night when I was like writing down like the key things that I wanted to talk to you guys about. I was like, oh, we should have done 2 panels. One in just how to like how you like the road in making it happen, making this like a printed thing, and like working on the story. And then the other one, I just wanted to ask you guys about like the characters and like the world and like, how you guys created all that stuff and how did you keep everything organized. I had so many questions because I was going through the story yesterday as well, and I was like,
It's so
chaotic.
questions. Okay.
Oh, I'll sit on the like keeping. How do we keep everything organized? No. I was working on
No, wait.
for copy editing.
Because we should probably
wait.
talk a little bit more. Like we can start from like the beginning, like how you guys, because you guys were like,
Okay,
oh well, my dad had stacks and stacks of like this book, so I was like, ooh, okay, so you guys sort of like grew up
Okay,
around
this is not
this thing, right?
pretty.
So it was fate. You guys were meant to become manga creators. Well, actually,
I'm gonna switch to do it on Discord so they upload faster.
yeah, sure,
Sorry, it's like
works for me.
it does not want to cooperate. Because I was like, it started loading just the first poster, and it took that whole time just to get the first one loaded. And I went, probably not a good idea. Okay. Into. Oh, I haven't even added friend on the work thing. Oh my goodness, Elizabeth, you should have yelled at me.
Are we even friends?
Now we are. At least a request is sent. I could not believe this whole time I didn't even get that friend request sent.
It's because we keep like collaborating with each other in person, and then we have
yeah. You just don't think about it.
like have emails to communicate. Okay, wait, no. What this one do?
Well, I'll do them in the order too, since we. Oops, that's not what I want. Please work. Okay, it's loading. It will still take a moment, but not as bad because that bar is moving a lot faster. Yeah, Nick would be next. Then it would be Izzy.
Oh, well, while we wait for that to load, we can talk a little bit about sort of like a brief summary of the first volume. That way, everyone sort of like watching can have
it. I'm thinking really hard.
The little spiel.
The little spiel that you got to hear at LA Comic Con a lot. We like to say that. Do I just do the pitch?
Here, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, give me 2 seconds because I'm literally the last one. Okay, because I know when we did this last time, you looked at me and went, "You take it away," just because our joke is, "Oh, well, I'm the writer, so I've got the words for it." But so what we like to say is it's a very brutally realistic take on superhumans, and that whole mouthful is just our way of saying, when it comes to our series, don't think of like Marvel DC, even though we spent the last hour talking about Marvel DC, and don't think of like My Hero Academia. There's no flashy tights, there's no masks, there's no adoring fans, because we think realistically, if some people had superpowers, the rest of the population would want to suppress that as much as possible. And so in our series, that's the situation. 15% of the global population are behemoths. It's illegal to use your abilities in public. It's a very Big Brother's always watching kind of feel. So there's propaganda plastered everywhere. Essentially, if you're a behemoth, you lead your life with your eyes to the ground and as very quietly as possible. So we follow a vigilante team of 6 characters. It sounds like a lot, but you'll start juggling them pretty fast. But they just see the rampant crime in their very LA inspired locale and not enough being done about it. So they take matters into their own hands, breaking the law to prevent for the law from being broken, of course, in using their abilities. All under the cover of night. You kind of get in the little generic of a vigilante start, but that only sets the stage. It is dystopian horror, and the horror has to come in somewhere, and it actually comes in on the opening 2 pages of volume 1, so we can't say what that is because that spoils the whole point of volume 1. What we can say is everything these characters have known to be true about the world around them, about the existence of behemoths, shatters, and so that's kind of the stage that's set when you get into our series and when you get into our manga.
Oh wait, yeah, that's true. I was like, wait, what did you talk? Yeah, okay, guys, there's no conspiracies and conspiracies and conspiracies. I have theories. Because it's again, like, I have so many questions. I was so excited to talk to you guys today because I was like, wait a minute, like this isn't sort of like I wanted to talk a little bit about like the difference between like a manga and like a comic book, right? Because we were so talking about like comic book characters and not like manga, which is a little bit different. So I wanted you guys to sort of like explain for those of us who might not know what the difference between those are, and why you ended up, because you grew up with comic books. So why did you end up choosing to do a manga instead?
Yeah.
Oh,
now I understand, because I seen these posters and then I'm like, oh, now I know who they are.
First,
you want me to start again?
you can start.
Okay.
What's the difference between a comic book and a manga?
I think it was okay. For much smaller size in regards to the amount of content you're getting, they're a lot shorter page count. And also the size proportions are much larger. Like your pages are bigger, but your page count is significantly smaller. Manga, you typically for comics, it's called issues. For manga, it's called volumes because you're dealing with a bigger chunk of text. Like for our first volume, it's 228 pages. We were planning for 150 and went way over that mark when we did the first volume, but here we are. And comics, you typically get colored content. Manga is a lot of black and white, which we felt was better for the tone of our series because we are doing a darker series.
And I don't like coloring.
Yeah, and she was like, I don't want to color. So we only have to color the covers now. Let's see. Obviously with manga, like actual traditional manga, you're going to be reading right to left instead of left to right, just because it's translated. For our series, that's the one way we broke away from manga. You have to read left to right. So we have a little apology on the last page of our first volume saying, hey, manga readers, it's the other way. This is the back. But yeah, it's mainly like the visual aspect is what separates them the most, and the size of content that you're dealing with the most. That's why comics you can find going into hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of issues versus manga you're getting it's a lot just to get into double digits of volumes.
So I'm trying to get my brother to bring me something because I have a question in terms of your own style that you ended up going for this, and the sort of like more traditional style. So correct me here if I'm wrong, but I feel like, in my experience, mangas tend to have a lot of layers to their storytelling as opposed to comics, where comics are more action, I guess, and less detail.
I was gonna
depth,
say,
I would say.
I feel like comics is a lot of like one-shot stories, whereas manga, there are one-shots, but it's still around like 228 pages for a one-shot.
Yeah.
But I also think when you do think comics, like I grew up reading a lot of Harley Quinn, and I think it restarted like 4 times in just the couple of years that I read it, where it's like it's not one consistent story, it's different takes on it, different versions and stuff like that. Even with things where like say that this happened in the middle of one of the series I was reading, the illustrator who is also the writer swapped halfway through, and that different writer picked it up, and then a couple comics down the line they swapped and restarted the story again. Where I feel like as manga you have one consistent writer / illustrator, unless like editors are involved obviously, but most of the time It's not common at all. But you usually have one illustrator / writer, and they stick to it, and usually it's one consistent story.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's so much more where you can foreshadow and not be like, oh, I might want to change this down the line.
Yeah.
So like we're already foreshadowing things that's like, no, this is set in stone, our ending.
Content.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some stuff that we're already teasing that's like huge and people will not catch it. They will not until they know the information at hand. Because for me, that was like one of my biggest goals and one of the things I love the most about storytelling and manga and just writing in general is foreshadowing. I love foreshadowing. I love when you can tell that a writer and a storyteller have clearly had beginning to end in mind. Like that's my ultimate advice to everyone that goes, like any writer that's approached me and asked for advice, my first thing I tell them is have your ending in mind, like know your ending, because you can tell a lot of times. You can tell a lot of times when a writer goes into a story and they either had like the idea laid out or they had the concept laid out and they had the climax, but they didn't have the ending. And you can tell by the storytelling alone, it just you can really start to catch those cues and recognize this author doesn't know how to finish, because they start to kind of lose direction as they go, or all they, of a sudden had a climax.
They're like, and then they woke up.
Yeah,
like
or they'll hit a climax and then all of a sudden it just kind of gets static, meaning like the characters aren't developing anymore, and it's because they're at a stopping point in their brain where they don't know what to do next, but they have to meet deadlines or they have to keep it going. And so, and filler's a big one, especially with manga. Well, with anime, you get filler episodes because the anime passes up the manga before the manga's even finished. Like I know the most infamous one probably for when it passed up was the original Full Metal Alchemist, the ending, because that was not it beat the manga out, and people did not like the ending they came up with. And so,
like Game of Thrones, similar thing, right?
Yes, exactly. And so that's always been my biggest piece of advice. But anyways, what I was going to say is for me too, the other thing that made me like manga more and want to go that direction was I kind of already complained a little bit about it earlier, where I was talking about how in comics you see a lot of like multiverse. There's like 15 different versions of the same character because they wanted to do it different this time in this way and they want to change it this up. This character conveniently came back to life because they didn't like that the character got written out. And I don't
can't complain about that
personally.
Because Loki has died a gazillion times.
Listen, I was obsessed with Loki and I understood the pain, but on the writer side of me, I did not like that they undid that through other. But that's because I already knew it was coming because it's a whole multiverse thing. But for me, I'm not a big fan of that concept. I want people to be. I want writers to be set in stone with their decisions. If you kill a character off, I want to see that character stay dead.
Once again, that comes down to the right. It's not the same writer for every single one. So you're gonna have different stories. And I agree though with that. One thing that I absolutely love about manga and why I love things like Attack on Titan. Some people may disagree. But I love consequences of stories. It teaches people a lesson that there are consequences to your actions. That's what helps push characters who need to be pushed, or like people to reflect on themselves. Like there's a lot of reflecting that I like flaws, characters with flaws. A lot of our characters, I would say all of them, have problems that a lot of people are going to be like, oh, this character really needs to work through this. Like, and not even just like, oh, this poor character. Like, I mean, like things that make the character not a good person. Like, I like getting to build that character where it becomes a not liked character to one of the most loved characters because like they have to go through development.
There's like there's so many layers too, like with I guess the most popular heroes nowadays, because then they're also connected with like an actor, like a real actor, right? And then so that becomes like a whole nother layer of things. And then you have like the comics, and then you have like the way the interpretation,
a little more like the actor now because that's the forefront of that character.
Or like people grew up with it.
Was and I mean that's like the same problem with just general prose to adaptation. You always see like when you see actors get casted for a book to film release, now anyone can't really unsee that if they're going to go into the books now for the first time, because they didn't start with the author description. They started with that actor in mind. So that definitely how to fix it all.
So the thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is the style. Like, how do you choose what style you were going to go into, because it is my understanding that like Japanese like style is very detailed. As you guys can see here, like every single spot is taken.
Yeah.
There's so much going on, there's so much detail, which makes it a really cool thing because you can go back and rewatch it on over and over again. However, I have ADHD and I have like a visual thing, so it becomes background noise to me.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
all of the background characters all look the same. I don't remember what anyone is called. So however, I wanted to show one of yours, which I don't think is going to give anything away. It's like
Oh,
the
you're
first.
You'll be
okay,
okay.
you're okay.
You're okay.
Okay, okay. It's different, right? Like, so you have like the detail there, but it's not like overwhelming. Where I'm like, oh yeah, I can look at everything and not
Oh,
be
yeah.
like, what's that little speck over here in the back?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or like just become sort of like visually overwhelmed. So, how
Yeah.
did you decide to go with this style instead of like the more traditional one?
I think one thing that does make it different too is I used to do pencil then digitally, and now I just do just digitally, but a lot of those original ones start from pencil paper and they stick with it all the way through till printing. But they do like 3 different versions of it where they do like sketch work, then a rough draft of the line art, then inking, and then they turn it in.
Yeah.
But I think too it also depends on like what part you're reading, because I know that you mentioned there was like a super detailed shot. So a good example of a scene where you kind of want to give an overstimulating vibe to feeling to readers is like those scenes are like in the city. It takes place in the very cramped city where it's like
There's
overpopulated.
lots of characters in the background.
Yeah, I remember it got to the point where when I was drawing background characters, Chess was telling me like,
I know exactly what you're talking
there was something wrong with the panel or something. I went, oh, is it with this going on in the background and like this going on?
This girl that looks like this, and the guy that has this on, and the old man that has this on his face, and this.
Well,
and
they
I
had
was like,
stories. I was like,
these are background characters. What are you talking about? Like, how do you know this?
But because it goes back to like one thing that I taught at the workshop was your characters, although there's not words on them, your characters need to tell a story.
Just
so there was like an
yeah.
older man who had like was bald and like he was clearly going to his business workplace, and I said, oh yeah, you could tell on his face that his boss is a younger man, but he's arrogant and he thinks that he could do a better job. And like I
you'll never know.
The characters have a name,
prevalence.
they're irrelevant. It's in one panel, but to me, like there's a whole story behind these characters when they show up. So, but I think that it comes down to like the location,
the feel.
Yeah, the feel of stuff.
Wait! I didn't mean to do that.
The feel of stuff.
I was trying to prep it and it didn't work.
No, you're totally good. You're totally good. It really just depends on like what you want to make the readers feel, and because you want your readers to feel the same way your characters do in that environment.
Yeah, and I was gonna say on the writing side of things, there's even the difference of we do separate from I would say a majority of manga, and what I mean by that is a lot of manga, and I had to learn this as I started to read a lot more during our early days of Bohemian Trust, because I already read manga, but there was like my set ones that I really liked.
Of course.
But Gwen and I are a lot more steady paced in Bohemian Trials than a lot of manga even are. Like we were watching Attack on Titan, and I didn't even realize like how quick these points were being addressed in the first episode in the manga as well. Like it was quick. Like here's the setting, here's what's happening, there's the Titan, like da-da-da. And Gwen and I are very steady paced. And at first we were a little weary about it, like, are we taking things too slow? Like, but I think the thing is with manga, a lot of them get really fast paced, not even just in the storytelling, but in how they play out scenes. And me and Gwen were like, no. If we want a scene to be really like held onto for a moment, we're gonna take our time to really hold on to those scenes, because there's value in that. There's value in taking a lot of time in one particular place, like we had to do with chapter 7 of the series, which will be getting digitally released hopefully soon. Like there's a lot having to happen in just this little spot, but we needed to take that time on it because it's so important that one, the readers are understanding what's happening, because there's a lot of visual stuff happening, and two, that we're giving the readers a chance to really feel the weight of where we left off in chapter 6, because chapter 6 was like boom, we are. And so
Yeah, I know. It was like a cliffhanger. Thanks, guys. I was like, where's the rest of it?
Yeah. Chapter 7 kind of gives people a minute to really, okay, now we need to take everything in. And you're alongside the characters having to really process, okay, where are we going now? Because for us, that's actually going to help our readers start going along with the story.
Yeah.
Because volume 1's very world building and character meeting, and it's a lot of showing people what the environment's like when you really think about it in the scope of what happened in volume 1, only so much happened in volume 1, because like we're really tackling the content is tackling storytelling, characters. Now
wait a minute,
what are these characters are going to do?
I think
in volume 1, like from like the first 6 chapters, technically it all happens within a couple of hours, right?
Yeah,
we start from first thing in the morning at the earliest time
I just
stamp,
realized.
and we're now
Yeah.
technically the next day, but it's just because we're past midnight essentially at that point. So yeah, it's a 24-hour period.
I think one of the hardest things, and it was something that I had to learn because I'm not a writer. Like now I feel like when it comes to plot holes and stuff, like I'm really good at like helping with that kind of stuff. I'm just not good at putting the words on paper. But one of the hard things is like, we have this timeline for Bohemian Trials, and the first volume kind of starts right in the middle. So like most manga, you get to see when they get to meet the characters, when they get to meet their friends, but we're starting like right dab in the middle. So it's like, obviously we'll get to that stuff. It's just...
Yeah, those are part of the conspiracies I have.
Yeah.
Theories I have. Yeah.
We have one file that's literally all its job is to lay out a chronological timeline of everything that happens, down to stuff that we kind of address in chapter 4 when we're in the classrooms. But it's from here's the earliest possible point that we need to know in the entire history of this series. There's about 8 pages of history and like important content that's happened all the way up to volume 1, chapter 1. So there's 8 pages worth of content that readers do not know that we'll get over the next several volumes, because it all affects where these characters are from the very first minute these readers get to meet them. And so yeah, it's a lot of
that was I think that was probably the hardest part for me personally, was like not getting to go, start from the beginning.
I gotta rush.
Yeah.
I get so impatient, and I'm like, that's why I like end up overworking myself, because I'm like, oh, I have this really cool plan of something that I want to do for like psychology for geeks, and then I'm like, oh, I guess I could do it next year, and I was like, why? I could just do it right now.
Yeah.
And like my thing is like, well, I need enough time to market, or like, to like post it on social media. I need enough time to find a venue or whatever. So that kind of like delays me a little bit. But how did you guys not put everything into like the first volume?
It was really hard. So I'll say this real quick, and then we should probably at least answer that question because it's been sitting there.
Yes.
So for copy editing and for the one of the big things that's like your most important tool as an editor, because I write, I letter, and I edit our book. I'm all the writing side of things. The story we work on together, but once it gets written down, it's all on my head. And so for an editor, your biggest, most important piece of material you have is your style guide. And your style guide's job is literally, you'll have like you'll have a dictionary section. You write down every single term, whether it be character names, whether it be terms you're going to frequently use, whether it be unique to like behemoth. Like I need to have that on hand. This is how I spell it. It's not like behemoth is lowercase in the actual technical terms, because like human, you would lowercase the H. So I have to have that note. Like I have to have every little detail noted. You write down grammatical rules you need to follow. You might give yourself a timeline. For us, our timeline is too big, so it's on a separate file. You're going to have all sorts of formatting rules. Like I was just having to rehash over our page layout rules, our font sizing, like when to use this font, when to use this font, like where does the page number fall when I'm looking at the final format? How do I upload it into one giant PDF file and get it sent to our printer? All these things have to be right there, because if I ever have a situation where I need Gwen to help me with lettering, say, Gwen can go to that file and, okay, I need to make sure that the speech bubbles, they can be at smallest 7 point, at largest 10 point on the average, but the most frequent will be 8 to 9. Okay, got it. So those are things she has to have on hand. But also it's important for me because I'm there's no way I can remember 8 years worth of content all in my brain. I have to have it all written down. Right now, our style guide barely has enough content to be with the first 2 volumes, and it's already almost at 30 pages. So when it comes to planning this stuff, that's how we track all of these things. That style guide is the most important file we have on hand. It is backed up 50,000 ways. It'll like, I will not risk losing it. I will probably get it and have it in print once I have like a solid chunk of it done, and then we will continue going from there.
I will say though, like a good example of us, because you mentioned like how do we not like
put everything
into one volume. Going into volume 2, and we had like I think it was like 2 months of us like sitting down.
It's like almost 3 months, yeah.
We were debating about which characters we wanted to introduce next, because it didn't matter which ones that we were introducing because the situation was going to play out the same way.
Mm-hmm.
But I personally was pushing to like introduce 3 new characters, like whole new characters who haven't even seen yet, because I just wanted them
so badly.
In like I wanted people to see them, because
right.
Are we able to like show the binder size?
It's you want to pull it out for a sec, because it's part of our support system. Very careful.
This binder is all of our characters and past concepts of characters. And so, like, I just want, like, from the artist's perspective, and I know it's the same for, like, the writer. I just want everything. Like, I want to be like, guys, this is going to happen in this. So it was really hard, but, like, I think after we really talked it out of being like, that's just, we're going in way too fast. We're going in, like, headstrong. Like, one character there's only one you will get to see. Yeah, there's only one that you get to
that's
see
getting added to the roster, because there's just too much we have to cover with
that one. Like
I mean, end of volume 1, you've already got some people you got on the radar too that we need to worry about. So
but like that, I think that's made me go, okay, like after I stepped back and went, like, people are going to be attached. It's just going to take longer because we really want people to really get to know these characters and like get to take the time, because I have personal favorite characters that I want to like already show that aren't even gonna be there yet. But like it is hard. It is definitely hard.
We have to give them their time,
but we have to give them their time. I think that's the best way to like put my mind at ease, is be like, okay, I need to give these characters the spotlight that they deserve. Still,
I think it's this is my own personal like preference or bias, because I would read manga, but the one that I have read like the most is One Piece, because it has so many. So like that's the one that I'm sort of like the most familiar with, and like sometimes I would just ask questions to like my brother, who's the one that kind of got me started. He's been following it for years, and I just kind of started in the past 2 years or so. And I was like, well, but because like you said, like usually for manga, it's usually like the illustrator and the writer is the same person, but you can tell where their talent truly lies and what I guess
and
what they are really good at. And I was like, that's kind of what I want, right? Like I would, because then you also have like these amazing stories that never get an ending because they just go on hiatus for like the rest of forever. So I'm like, wait, no, but can someone else finish at least like with the notes or something that somebody else had? Like can we have this the ending to this, right? So like now hearing like how you set everything up and that sort of like the ending, that gives me hope that I'm not gonna be like, because I also read a lot of like fan fiction, and then like there's some amazing fan fiction out there, and then like there's like the sequel to it, and it's never finished, and it's never gonna be finished because they just it's just for fun project, and I'm like, not for me. I was like hooked into the story, and now I want to know what happens, but we would never know now. So that's amazing. And whether or not you end up doing this in like 15 volumes or 25 volumes, it doesn't make much of a difference in terms that the story's still gonna have like the same ending, right? So that's good. We do have another question.
Someone asked if we're finishing with the contest.
Yes, we are going to be announcing it closer to 5. Closer to the end of today. That's when we'll be announcing the winners. But
and then you want to do
I guess would be yeah, a good transition for us to go into sort of like talking a little bit about the main 6 characters.
Yes.
So who is this?
That is Parker Ambert. We refer to him pretty frequently as the glue of the team. His ability we refer to as steel apparition, and what it means is that he can make any item that is strictly of steel appear out of thin air, and also in turn dissipate out of thin air. But of course, when it comes to we talked about, we love the aspect of having limitations and weaknesses. For him, obviously, we can't have him just be like, I can make absolutely anything I want ever if it's out of steel. He has to know the inner workings of said item that he's making. He can't just conveniently make anything because he visualizes it. He has to know how it works if it's something that's a little more mechanical or technical. So you'll notice that he really dumbs himself down to a lot of simple items. For example, this isn't like a major spoiler or anything, but he makes it like a shield in volume 1. And that's because like that's something he can quickly just throw together in his brain. I know how to make a shield. It's just a piece of metal. And so he's very limited in that regard. But when it comes to the tier list we were doing with the aspect of let's see what the categories were, would be sent to a lab, a little sus, would
Give themselves away.
give themselves away, or would like no one would be able
people
to tell.
would never know. Yeah.
Parker definitely would be in the no one would ever tell.
But if we're including influence from other members, he would be a little sus.
Wait, you can't go into detail. People need to.
Yeah. Well, also
people
what I was
need
going
to
to say
buy
was,
the first volume, and then you know.
That's so true. You know what? You're right.
Well, also I was going to say if he's getting caught, it's because of everyone else getting him caught. It's on him by himself. He would blend in just fine, especially because of the aspect of in our series, behemoths or superhumans. They're born with more often. They're born with unnatural eye colors. We explain pretty simply in the series. Brown eyes is like a guarantee, given that that's the dominant trait in just regular people. It's a guarantee that they're not a behemoth. If they have blue or green, you could either be totally human, since we see those eye colors, or they could fall under the behemoth category. And then obviously anything that's not a normal eye color you see, that's going to be for sure behemoth. So Parker, fortunately, also is blue-eyed. So it's also a lot easier for him to just visually hide as well. So Parker could undoubtedly get away without getting caught.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, I'm trying to add these at the same time.
Oh, you're good.
Okay. Adding.
And we apologize for taking a while to get to that question. We got a little distracted along the way.
I think it's uploading. Nope. Sorry, there you go.
There we go. Did you want to do this one?
This is Dominic Iwazaki, or Nick for short. Continue. The words are not.
That's how you get to know.
Yeah.
Gwen's personal favorite character, so a little bit of a bias on that one.
Wait, why?
Yeah, why is he your favorite?
So we had mentioned that we were younger when we wrote these characters, and I loved the like tsundere bad boy.
Oh, okay.
When I was younger, and Dominic was like literally the depiction,
just the trope
of the trope.
Oh, okay.
But like as I've gotten older and he's fleshed out and stuff, I like how complicated his character is, because he stumbles.
You gotta see him do some like he's a little bit of a problem in volume 2. So I'm really excited
which I like. I love that, because
that
leaves room for character development. So that's kind of why he's still my favorite, is the writing side of him.
Nick, we refer to as our redeemed delinquent. Anyone who picks up a volume will figure that out pretty fast. And his ability is self-duplication. He does have 2 variants. This is all content that you can just find on the middle divider pages that spiels on the characters, so it's not even anything like I'm spoiling stuff. He has 2 versions. One is elusive, and the other are physical clones. Elusive clones are fortunately like not physical, so he can just trick people into thinking he's there. Of course, if someone were to walk through him, that would quickly expose that is not him standing there. But he can be far more emotionally ranged with it, versus physical clones. They are physically there, so it's easy to, it's a little harder to point that it's not him, but they're not emotionally driven. Neither clone he is capable of speaking through. That's a weakness of his. So it's all visually
That's
based.
I was thinking about like all the other like superheroes that we know that can do that, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, it would make sense. I'm just thinking of like Naruto, and I was like, yeah, it will make sense that you can because he's just a clone. I have no brain. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Okay.
And so, and then also my favorite weakness on his regards is if it is a physical clone, any damage the physical clones take, he will take himself. So it's like he has to weigh in: is this worth getting caught, or is this worth getting hurt? And so he has to be very, very critical about his ways of going about his abilities. When it comes to the personality, and when it comes to his appearance, he also has golden yellow eyes. So physically, it'd be a little easier to catch him. Where would you say he falls on the scale?
I would say he'd be sent to lab. Yes, he would he would be out there, but I think he'd be sent to a lab.
Yeah, I was
Wait,
gonna say.
why?
See, I was gonna
Well,
argue that it would be that he would at least expose himself for who
yeah,
he
yeah,
is,
yeah, yeah.
because he's very stubborn. He has a set like standard of the way he views the world, of the way he views other people, of the way he views behemoths. And he's pretty intense about his views. And so he's so stubborn about it that I could not imagine him trying to live a quiet life, because society's telling him to. He hates that that's the box he's being put in. And so he pretty aggressively lives out like even in the actual world that they live in, where it's seen as bad to be a behemoth, he does not care that it hinders him socially, that it hinders him in school, that it hinders him literally in every way, shape, or form of his life. He would much rather be true to who he is and essentially just say, whatever, I don't care about what you think of me, than he would to fall in line and be a good little behemoth, essentially. And so, yeah, I would say I lean more so towards just the exposing himself. But I know where
he'd expose himself.
If there were that situations where they like, because ours isn't really like, oh no, behemoths are, we don't know what these are. Like, no, we know what they are in our universe. So there's not really.
But he'd get himself into trouble.
He would get himself into trouble. Yeah.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you though? Like, clone, can they go get groceries? Because that's what I would use them for.
So, for him, it's a little
clean my house.
But for him, like, he would have to be very particular about his instruction that he gives. Because, I mean, you've read the first volume, but I do explain to you on this divider that when he is releasing a clone off, or multiple clones or whatever, but we haven't really even seen multiple, we've only seen the one, he has to give a set instruction to said clone. And so that instruction is the only thing they're really going to follow. And that's why when you see in chapter 3, when he does use his clone finally one time, not in the, the big situation happening, but in the day-to-day life, that's why it was pretty quick for Parker to figure out what was going on, because it was just one mindless instruction.
Okay, I can see why then. Yeah, he would like get caught immediately.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because his clones also look like him, right? It's not like in Naruto where like they can
we
use chakra
were
to change
very
clone.
set on whatever he's wearing is cloned with him too, because we were like, we are not going to have to try to figure out, well, like, technically it's just him being cloned. No, the clothes go too. Like, that is how it works.
There's a couple characters that we were like, okay, we just need to make it like, this is where it's just just a story. We can't go into detail.
There's a term
like
for
that.
it.
That would be
suspension of belief is basically what it is. You have to, there's times where you watch a movie or you read any kind of media and entertainment, you have to kind of accept things just as they are. That's one of the times where we felt, okay, it's acceptable for us to just push people to accept it as is, because we were not going to deal with that. No.
This is also one of my other favorite characters. Not that
she's
anyone else,
popular,
but her superpowers are like so cool, and she's like,
she's awesome.
Yeah. She's like a little, I don't want to say anything, but like they're cool.
One of our stronger ones.
Yes. Izzy is definitely a lot more stronger on the scale. If they were to try to put her in a lab, I don't think they could get away with it as easy. She'd be a lot harder to catch. Izumi Hara, or Izzy for short, just like Nick, she has a nickname, but she's a much less aggressive about being referred to by her nickname than Nick is. We refer to her as the light of the team. She's very bubbly. She's she is just proud of who she is and loves her friends wholeheartedly and proud of them. Probably their number one fan, every single one of them. And her ability we refer to as tangible shadows. So it's literally a dark essence that she kind of works with. That's the most we can describe it as, because
You guys,
there's
it's like
not
a blob, and she can like make it into whatever. Is so cool. It's like
Yeah.
slime. It's like just a slime. Well, kind of, but like it's like so cute. I
Yes.
want one. It's my pet.
So her ability is a lot more OP compared to the other ones. I think Parker's could be OP, but you know, he'd have to know a lot of information to get to that point. Whereas she could just do as is. It also kind of has a little bit of a consciousness to it when you get to really know the characters and know how her ability works. Like there's one shot where she's kind of whispering to the side to her little ability, because having like one-off conversations. One scene that's people's favorite is during the breakfast scene. I won't say what it is, but people really like that interaction with her ability there. But she's loud and proud about it. So I think she also technically falls under the same category as Nick with the would reveal herself kind of thing, but very different. Hers isn't in a aggressive protest, but more so just in contentment in who she is. So like Nick's just mad, and that anger and that spite drives him to be willing to be who he is. Whereas Izzy is proud to be who she is. She thinks that the world's just broken, and she thinks it just needs that correction. And until she can get the world to think that she's okay, she'll keep showing them that she's okay. And so, she's awesome. She's such a fun character to write too. I love writing her dialogue. She is just such a fun, happy-go-lucky character. And she's just she's great. I love
One
her.
of the things that I liked about this character, why she's like my second favorite, is because it's not like she's like toxic positivity. Like she's aware of things. She just chooses to sort of like focus more on like the positive things.
And I think that was nice too, is it's kind of reflected in her ironically having dark ability. Is it, we like to say like, oh, her power is darkness, but she's the light of the team. Like that's the entire epitome of who Izzy is she's not like ignoring the horrible state of the world, or she's not like unaware or living in like an ignorance is bliss kind of situation. She 100% is aware of everything around her. She just chooses to look at the bright side. She's very optimistic. Whereas Nick, he would argue he's realistic, but he's 1,000% pessimistic. You know what I mean? And so, Izzy is such a wonderful character. She's great to write, and she's definitely a fan favorite.
So would she just be like a little sus, or would she give herself away? Because I would give myself away. Again,
I think she still falls under the give herself away category.
But she wouldn't get herself into trouble, I think, of like government hands.
And I mean, if you read volume 1, I think you'll probably also agree pretty quick that she would give herself away, given some of the interactions we get to see in chapter 3. And she's great. I love her very much.
Yeah, me too. Okay, let's see. Wait. Yes. There we go.
I know this one. Do you know the answer to this one?
Yes, I do know the answer to this one.
Wait. On the count of 3, you both say it.
The category title?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Little sus. No, you did something different. Okay. I'm thinking Little Sus.
Okay.
Do you want to hear my first?
Well, funny person.
Wait, introduce the character first.
Let me first tell. Okay, this is Jason Magner. No nicknames involved. We call him the muscle of the team. If you look at his profile, you already could tell that. His ability is super strength. So, of course, we had to have one of the more commonplace abilities that you see with this stuff in our series. But one of our big points we want to stress to people is we wanted to flip the script. So when you see people that have super strength, they're always super strong because they have a bunch of muscle. Hulk gets big and muscly when he's implementing his abilities. Iron Man gets powerful and Captain America gets powerful once he's given like the stuff to make him powerful, and conveniently all the muscles form. You see all these characters that whenever they get strong, they have the muscles to show for it.
Right.
Jason was not that way. In the Bohemian Trials, behemoths are born with their abilities, but just like with your intellect, just like with your physical strength, you have to hone it in, train it, exercise it, and learn how to control it. So imagine a little chunky baby with super strength. That'd be a little scary, for one. Two, because he is super strong, he has been able to develop muscle pretty easily. So what I mean by that is, instead of, oh, he's super strong because he's got all this muscle, instead you have a preteen, skinny little junior high boy being able to lift tons upon tons very easily as a pastime. And so over time, he built up this muscle naturally because all of it is easy to do.
I was about to say, I was like, he's buff. What are you talking about? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yes.
So he like built up that muscle because he exercises.
Yeah. So it was just, it's like basically getting a buff for your gym
That's like, again, sort of like a more realistic take, because if you kind of look at Hercules as well, when he was a teenager, he was like all scrawny as well.
Yes, exactly.
Right, but he was still just as powerful.
Yeah.
And yeah, the Captain America thing, it's kind of like, wouldn't he just stay the same size?
Yeah.
Like, because I don't know.
And so, and when it comes to limitations, I mean, you have more commonplace limitations for Jason. Like, obviously, he's not to the point where he can lift absolutely everything in the entire planet. You'll see him strain with certain things. In Volume 2, you will get to see him strain with some stuff. He'll lift it, but it's a lot harder to do. And then on the other side, too, given that he's all muscle mass, we figured that it would be a good weakness for him to just naturally not have a very good endurance. So he's good at the bursts. He can do a lot with it when it comes to like muscular strength, but when it comes to being long term with said things, he's gonna get tired just like anyone else.
I like to think of him as the tank girl in a video game.
Yeah. Yep. A good human,
but like a softie on the inside.
Yeah.
Yes, because I didn't even get to his personality. Jason is very stoic. A man of few words is one of our commonplace descriptions for him. And he just tries to kind of keep to himself to the best of his ability, just because he's very content living a quiet life. But it's kind of hard to when you stand out at 6'2" and are incredibly jacked at only barely almost 18 years old. Like, he sticks out like a sore thumb. It's hard to blend in, kind of thing.
One of the things, again, I liked about the presentation of this character is that because he is a teenager, we see him in the school setting, and then we see how everyone around him sort of falls into the, we want to be just like him because men are supposed to be buff or whatever, right? And then he gets like told off because of that, and he's like, what do you mean? Like, I'm like completely normal or whatever, like I'm not even using my super strength. And then
I was gonna say, I think what's really cool too about Jason's ability also plays into like something that's like reachable for people. So it's like this idea of like these people who maybe
not
like
to his extent, but they can try for it. Yeah.
Like they could be working out so long and they still can't reach his level, and it's just because he's just born with it. He's literally gifted like that. Because in reality, like, I mean, that comes with like talents and stuff too. We always go, oh, I wish I could do that. And I think Jason's just literally a good example of like the epitome of that. Yeah. Where people, there's also that envy of wanting to be like him, but they hate him because he's gifted.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention,
like just genetically, right? Yeah.
Not
even the superpower thing.
Yeah. So visually, it's also a little harder with his orange eyes to hide himself. And then I forgot to mention Izzy's. Izzy's are black. Izzy has like pure black eyes. So I forgot to note hers. I skipped hers. But I guess in a way, it could be harder at first glance to maybe notice the difference, but it's there. Whereas Jason, orange eyes, you're gonna stick out pretty easily. And so, what was your reason for what your vote for him? You said like being a lab was what your
answer not being a lab. It was
like expose himself.
Yeah, expose himself.
Okay,
I think it would have been at like non-intentional, but it's just like how we described earlier. Like he just kind of does his thing. Like people will be like, "Well, that's weird," you know.
Like his
that's why he's so strong. So,
yeah. That's the only reason why I was thinking.
See, that's actually kind of why I was leaning into a little sus, because yes, technically, if we go by behemoth rules, anyone's gonna look at his eyes, they're gonna know. But let's ignore that for a moment. If we're talking just down to abilities, Or if he had the nerve to just wear contacts, whatever
Yeah, yeah,
color
yeah.
contacts, which we do, which is allowed in our universe. Well, depending on where you're at, but in our where they're at, it is allowed. Does it do much? You'll gotta find out. But my other reason is like, how much can you argue, like, because especially when you're seeing this buff kid, right? How much can you argue it's not just because he's a jacked kid, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
on a large scale, yeah. Like there's some stuff you'll see in volume 2 where you're like, yeah, that guy's not just strong. Like this guy's crazy strong.
yeah.
But like in a day-to-day situation, if he did something pretty intense or lifted something pretty heavy on a normal basis, people can kind of write it off as like, is this an ability or are you just really strong? And so I feel like it'd be easier for him to hide it, especially with where he's at now.
Yeah.
He can control how much, yes, his day-to-day, sometimes he forgets like where his differences are with people. But generally he's pretty good at just living fairly normal.
Yeah. Okay, I can get behind that.
So I think little sus is where I would stand. If you disagree, it's okay. Like, but
no, I understand.
No, well, I was also thinking though, like now as a teenager, maybe he could be like a little sus. But if we think about like, because
as a baby,
as a baby, yeah, they would have immediately known.
Yes. Put that toddler in a lab, like
yeah. Wait, so where are we placing him?
He'll go in a little sus.
Yeah, a little sus. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to leave my favorite for last, but I don't think that's gonna make as much sense. So he's gonna go next.
Yeah.
Like,
yay! Okay,
just look at that smirk, you guys. Like that's what got me.
This is Adrian Minamoto. He is our lead male in the series. Our most frequently used expression to describe him is we say he's got a lot of screws loose, but thankfully not so much in his moral compass. So he's chaotic good, I think is a good way to describe him. His ability is teleportation. It's strictly through the means of portals, opening and closing portals. How Gwen draws them is actually pretty cool, side note. But the thing for him is his weakness is a matter of he needs to be able to see both pinpoints, not obviously at the same time. That would, like, how are you going to do that? But he has to see wherever he's opening a portal and wherever he's closing a portal within the past, like, only so many seconds. Like, we kind of, can it be a little more flexible at times? Yes. I mean, we have to with this series even. But right now, you're looking at probably the biggest average of 10 seconds. He has to have seen point A and seen point B. Of course, fortunately, his OP side of his ability is like, if he can at least pinpoint it on the horizon, he can still get that opened or closed, whatever portal it is. But on the weakness side, it is within that time frame, he has to see it. And on the other thing is he can only open one entrance point and one exit point. And so he's got to really think through how he's going to do it and how he'll maneuver using his ability. But I mean, come on, like he has like one of the dream abilities where it's like, oh, I got to go to school. Well, I can wait till last minute to leave because as long as I climb on my roof and I can see it over there, I'll just teleport over there.
That's why I love working from home.
Yeah.
So if I had that ability, I wouldn't have to work from home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's see. His eyes are green, so on the physical sense, he could blend in pretty well. But on the personality sense, no, he is not. He is not going to blend in very well at all. Yeah, I think obviously, like in just the bare bones category, it would probably just be the exposing himself kind of thing. Because the thing that makes it hard is with Bohemian Trials, like, because again, behemoths are just something known to exist. It's not like this like major breakthrough in science that people have to go, where did you come from? How did you get this ability? It's like, no, these people are born with it. Like, we kind of know the roots. If you read volume 1, you'll get kind of the roots of where behemoths came from, like how they've come to be known, how they come to exist. And so I
love the way you guys did it though. Like the way that you explained it. It was so it was so integrated into the story that was like it was very seamless.
Oh, thank
Because a
you.
lot of people's like once upon a time, there's like all of
Oh,
that, I feel like.
I'm so
Yeah.
blessed to have her as a writer. When I was reading it, I was like, this is gonna be so cool, like the transitioning to like each location so you could see like
Yeah.
as they
It was
explain,
hard to
so
write,
fun.
especially Nick's scene in that whole thing. Oh my gosh. So when it comes to especially something like this size of a series, you have to know the ins and outs of your history and your story and the timeline.
Mhm.
And at this point, going into volume 1, I already know what we need to know. Like, I know the series. I know what happened. I know how Behemoth came to exist. I know like all the details. I know how the media like twists it. I know how they're telling the truth about it in other ways. Like, I know what's going on. But when it came to writing Nick's scene, and I have to have someone kind of twisting the facts just in the right way and I have to have him correcting that, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to know the whole history like the back of my hand. Like, I have to know this so detailed that I could say it in my sleep,
Mhm.
because you have to know it well enough to be able to, because when it comes to manipulating facts especially, you have to know the truth to twist it the right way. And
Yes.
so
I
it
know
was
that.
like I had to know, okay, how can I twist this scenario, especially since I knew each character was going to be addressing a different point as we're telling the overall story. And so it
Mhm.
was like, okay, Nyx has to do just with this part of history. So I have to make sure it works. I have to make sure I can find ways to manipulate those specific facts. And I have to figure out ways to make Nick correct said things or call it out at least. Because obviously we know it doesn't go very far if you read volume 1.
That is one of like my biggest pet peeves in any sort of like show or movie or whatever that I watch, when there's like this character that's like just using common sense to like
Yeah.
talk about these things, and then people are like, no, that's not what we're teaching in this class, and I refuse to like acknowledge any of that, and I'm like, why?
Yep. It was
I
fun
was
to write
screaming
too.
internally when I
Yeah.
when I got to that part. Yeah.
It gives such a clear world build understanding. I like that one's a big one because you're really seeing like it's so heavily integrated into society to hate these people that
Mhm.
a teacher would rather listen to biased, falsified information than listen to the facts, because it doesn't match what the way the world is telling them how to think. And
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
I loved writing that. And then I know another popular one is Jason's arc in that scene. A lot of people have expressed like being dumbfounded by the teacher interaction, especially as the teacher's walking away. And
Dude,
without spoiling it,
he didn't even listen to like.
and
I'm
so
not gonna. Yeah.
it's like you're really seeing like you get like a glimmer of hope, and they're like, no, this is really how the world works and all this stuff. And so yeah, it was a
Yeah.
really hard one to write, but once it was done, I was quite proud, to say the least. I was like, thank you, Lord. I would not have been able to get through this that
That's
easily
cool too.
without
I
your
love that entire scene too, because there's so many people that are interacting with them that you're seeing
Yes.
every single different point of view.
Yes, you're getting to
Mhm.
see the peers they walk among. Like, do they have any friends? Are they getting
What different
bullied?
interactions do they have
Yeah.
that those
Mhm,
peers
mhm.
give? Like,
Yeah, it's
so
really
much
cool.
fun. I
It's
can't
really
say
cool.
anything, but I want to say so much. I can't.
But yeah, so for Adrian, like I was saying, it's hard because we don't really have like, oh, they're gonna get sent to a lab.
Yeah.
But I would say out of all of them, he would be in the category of revealing himself, but he's so uncontrollable, unpredictable, that I think he would be the most likely he would proudly get himself in that situation if they had a lab kind of situation, because he's like, he
Yeah,
just
I don't think
does
they
not
could-
care.
I don't think they could.
But the
catch
thing
him.
is, that's what I was gonna say. The other problem is
Mhm.
they cannot catch him if they wanted to.
Mhm.
So in the actual answer, yes, he falls under the category of just revealing himself.
Yeah, that's right.
But he's the only one that would openly put himself in any situation. I mean, look at chapter 2 of volume 1. You're already seeing him wreaking havoc. He
Mhm.
does not care. And so yeah, he would wreak havoc, but given that our universe only really functions among the first 3 out of the 4 categories, he would be among he'd be among Izzy, he'd be among Nick. But again, all 3 of them have entirely different reasons to be put in that category. Nick is spitefully driven to be himself. Izzy is proudly driven to be herself, and Adrian just is himself, simply put.
And I would lean to that Nick would be more so the one to be put in
Yeah.
because of his
he would be the one to get caught out of those three.
Yeah.
He would be the one to get caught to be put in the lab. Izzy would never have the opportunity to be put in the lab, and Adrian would put himself in the position but taunt as he gets away every time.
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe it. I love Adrian.
Whenever he was getting in trouble
Gwen's
with
admitting
the
like
rest of
Nick
the-
was written for like with a little bit of appeal to herself. Adrian 1,000% was written for my own gaze when we first started the series. I loved the concept I had for Adrian, and I was like, this is what I want. This is the man. Adrian's outfit was so specific. I don't do the art. Gwen like did everything, but Adrian's outfit, I drew a really bad like sketch work of this is how his clothes look because I want him to wear this. Like
his superhero outfit is my favorite, I think. Yeah. Yeah, like getting in trouble with
It was so much fun to work with.
When he was getting in trouble with his teammates, immediately I was like, no, it's okay. Like, hold on, wait, he might not. And I was like, yeah, immediately, like from the first time that he like we saw him, I was like, I love him.
Yeah.
Oh, there's something like
he has a great his intro too. I was very proud of.
Oh, that was so much fun.
I remember being like, I have an idea. This is how we're gonna introduce him. Like this is what's gonna happen. And so when I told her, she was like, okay, yes,
the
I'm ready.
The transition was so good. But I loved his outfit for fighting crime. But oh my goodness, it is such a pain in the butt to draw those stupid bunny pattern every single time his pants are on the like in the shot. I was like, oh my goodness, and shading was miserable.
Yeah.
It came out great.
But yeah,
if it's any consolation.
So as for our final and leading character, we follow Laya Reese. She is very reserved. She prefers to do things on her own, and she's very scientifically driven. We kind of hinted at that when we were doing the tier list. She is very morally driven. She has a strict moral code of her own that she lives by wholeheartedly, and in turn the team has to follow. A lot think like-minded. Adrian's probably the least like. Well, Adrian and Nick both probably butt heads with her the most about her moral code. But she the reason they do what they do, the reason they get involved with stopping crime and handling these matters, especially in the aspect that most of these people, like we said, 15% of the population are behemoths. So a lot of these people they are saving or involving themselves with are not behemoth. And Laya does not care. She firmly believes that every person deserves a second chance, have an opportunity to grow. Basically everyone has the right to be alive. And so when she sees people in dangerous situations, whether they are people who actively hate behemoths, who would look her in the eyes and spit her in her face if she saved them, she does not care. She believes it's right. And so that's the code this team lives by, functions by. Of course, like I said, that only sets the stage because we got what starts in volume 1 going, and that changes a lot of the direction. But she is very by the book. She's very intelligent. She thinks with her mind and not by her heart. Like basically everything Adrian does is opposite probably of her. And so she's a fantastic character. She's so much fun to work with and write for. There's times where Gwen will tell me like, that dialogue is too smart sounding, but then she'll realize it's for Laya and she goes, I guess it's fine.
Yeah.
It's one of the few times where I can write a little more freely with my vocabulary range as a writer because she has that range. She's very smart.
Well, it's also very fun too because a lot of her sentences are things that like nobody would really say, or like it's worded very strangely. But one thing that I absolutely love about Laya is she's very socially awkward.
She's like socially inept.
She's like socially inept because she's so logically driven that she just doesn't like fit in, and I love that about her.
And you'll really get to see that exercise even just within the first chapter of volume 2. If you pay attention to the diction, I won't say what it is, but if you pay attention to the word choices if you compare her word choices between her and Izzy specifically, you will notice that they're slightly referring to things a little different. And that verbiage is a huge reflection into just the way they look at the world and the way they function. Izzy is incredibly emotionally driven. She sees the humanity in everyone. Laya knows there's humanity in everyone, but does she really like feel that humanity? No, she just thinks logically everyone has it. We need to protect it. And so you'll see that just in the way they talk. And I was really proud of that little detail. I told Gwen, I was like, okay, this one's going to refer to this way, and this one's going to say it this way. And it's not something that will really catch readers' attention unless, now you're hearing me say it. Hopefully you'll go into the 7th chapter when it comes out and you'll try to pay attention to how they're referring to things and how they're talking, because it's different. And so she's very logically driven. She's pretty much disconnected from the world around her. But as a behemoth, that's kind of her environment she's forced into either way. And given her situation of having red eyes, I mean, that is asking her to be an outcast from everyone. She's born with a trait that is commonly associated with evil, and people think of blood, they think of bad guys. Red's kind of associated with the bad. And so, Laya is just kind of born with that trait. When you see a bad guy in like every movie ever, they give them the red eyes. And so Laya, and I mean, their world is our world. So Laya sees that in media. She sees that reflection. And it's only tenfold with behemoths because she's born with powers that people don't like that she has. And so, she's an awesome character. She reflects a lot of, like, I know Izzy reflects a lot of like Gwen's life, and Laya reflects a lot of ours. Like, we're Christian. Our faith plays a huge impact on our own walks and our lives, and that in turn reflects a lot on our characters. Hopefully, maybe a little bit, we can hear a little bit about Izzy and where she came, because Gwen's life story actually plays a part into why Bohemian Trials exists.
Yeah.
But anyways, like, Laya gets to reflect a lot of that side of me. And even with the self-doubt that she goes through, there's a little bit of myself inevitably poured into that. But her ability is time manipulation. She's very restricted. Like I mentioned earlier, abilities, just like your mind, just like your muscles, they have to be strengthened and honed in and trained. And in a society where you're not allowed to use your abilities in public, she doesn't have much opportunity to, and she's very, like I said, by the book. So she's going to follow those rules as much as she can. Of course, now she's breaking them a little bit under the cover of night because she thinks that's more right to do. But she can't do a whole lot. What she can, but it's still a lot.
Yeah.
But she can't do as much as anyone could think she could do. So the way her ability works is she affects the time on a particular mass, whatever she's messing with the passage of time on. So for example, if I threw a ball, she could focus her ability on that ball and try to rewind its position, put it back at its start place. The larger the mass, or the more time being manipulated, affects how far she can really go. It does a lot more of a toll on her if she's working with a larger object. We get to see that already in volume 1. Or if she's working with a bigger chunk of time she's trying to shift, which we'll get to see a little bit more in volume 2. You'll see the toll it takes on her. It's a lot. What's cool too about Laya is she is the leader of the team. She is the strongest in her will and her motive, but in her ability, she's quite obviously the weakest. And so it's really cool to see. We do get some cool stuff still out of her limitations. I mean, something very small she gets to control in volume 1, and it makes for a really cool really cool ability introduction for her. And but yeah, so she's by the book. She's got the red eyes, and when it comes to the tier list, yeah, she's not getting caught at all. Girl will not get caught. She wears brown contacts. She does everything she can to live as normal as she can. And so she's really cool. I absolutely adore her character, and she is such a fun leader to follow. And it's really good, pretty cool to watch how she develops throughout the series and the stuff she goes through. And so, neat way to. Yeah. What's funny too is when you note that it's a really neat way of playing. It's like with the way her world is around her, she doesn't have a lot of playmate options anyways as a behemoth. So it could very much be a way she had to play by herself. And so, yeah.
Well, you see, I have theories.
Yes.
As to what happened to to like, because then I like, you guys were talking earlier about like the premise of the story, and then I was like, wait a minute, what about the parents? One of the parents, because this is a genetic thing. Like, one of the parents, where are the parents going? Like, who is like, where are like this person's parents? And like, I have theories.
We have answers that
We have
can't
answers that
say
we can't
them.
say.
I know that is the sad part. Um,
Makes one
uh,
bit,
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone has been a place in the tier list, and like I said, I'm gonna share that eventually on our socials. No,
yeah. Yay.
wait, this one. There you go. And I just realized that we should have made this a 5-hour event because, again, I have so many questions, and part of me is like, well, I know the answers now because we had the special sort of like Q&A for the Psychology for Geeks Discord. So you guys weren't there, then you guys know nothing. But there was like some really cool things that we were talking about that I really do want to share with everyone else, because I think in we keep thinking about like society and like our society in general, and part of that is this ideas that we have. Whenever I go to conventions, I have this sort of like love and hate relationship with some of the panels that they have,
Mhm.
because a lot of them turn into, and how can I get the job that you have, because that's what I want to do in the future, right?
Yeah.
But then the advice is so sort of like um impractical, in a way. We're getting there, we're there. In 15 minutes we'll start talking about we'll start showcasing the artwork, and then we'll say who won what.
Can I slip out for just a second?
Yeah,
Really
of
quick?
course.
Yeah, sorry. What's okay?
Okay.
And so again, there's this sort of expectation of like, oh, so what was like your one trick to make sure that you were able to work for like
Uh-oh. I can't hear you.
oh no, can you hear me again?
Oh, I don't know if you gotta like replug in the mic. It started working again, but it sounded like you were underwater for a second.
Is that
Oh, you're good. You're good.
I think I just touched it. I need a new mic.
No worries. No worries.
Yeah, so I wanted you guys to talk a little bit more about how you guys came to that goal of we're going to publish this. And it's not because it's not the same as you guys saying, oh, we're going to publish a book, because that's sort of like that can be like a one-time thing, right? You guys are going to publish a series of books.
Yeah.
Right, so that is going to take a lot of time, energy, effort, money. It's going to take a lot out of you guys. So what is the, like, how did you guys get started in deciding this is what we want to do and this is what we're going to dedicate our time and effort to?
Like, how did the series start, or like how did we know when we wanted to start? Like,
yeah, like, just I guess like when you guys, not even when you had anything, but when you guys both agreed that yes, you were gonna create a manga and it's gonna get published, and that's the
I
goal.
think, when would you say that, like, when we agreed that we were going to make this like a thing, like this is our full-time job, I would say like we agreed when we started, but it was really set in stone, I think, when the college stuff was going down for you.
The college stuff.
Like
when we're working on
Japan.
one?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Right before we started working.
Yeah. As I had mentioned, as I had mentioned before, like, we're Christian and our faith plays a huge part in our role. And when I was, so we have been working on this project at this point, oh gosh, 6 years almost.
Oh, I was thinking now, sorry.
And what happened was I had taken an extra semester in school to do TESOL certification, which is second language education for English.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I went to school for. I went to school to teach English, and I was actually gradually progressing through the JET program, and so it was teaching English in Japan, and I was fully on track for it. I got all my forms done, how to go get like some of my vaccines done, and especially since it was not very long after COVID, so there were vaccines that needed to be done, and so I had to be on top of that, and there was just all this stuff going on. As I progress through the process, because it's very, very tedious and it stretches over a long period of time. So like October is when the applications close. By November, I think October is when they open. November is when they close your applications. You have all these forms to fill out. Then you won't hear anything until January, and then by February you have interviews if you've known you make it onto interviews.
Yeah.
And then after that you go on to the actual interview, which is even later. And then by April, May is when you find out whether or not you're going to make it into the program. And then by summer is when you move. And so I was fully on set for that. And I applied. I was really excited, and yet I just had this gut feeling like something was wrong. And for me, I'm fully convinced, like the Lord was telling me, this is not it. But at that point, I wanted to be like, la 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 la, I'm gonna go to Japan. Like this is my plan. And then I did my interview. I've never walked out of an interview feeling more confident in my life. I was like, this was the best interview I've ever had. And yet I just had this gut-wrenching feeling like the Lord just telling me, this is not it. This is not what I have planned for you. And I was like, why? Like, why am I feeling bad about something so cool? Like, I just had an awesome interview and I feel terrible. Like, what is going on? So my dad had sat down with me, and it really was just me talking at him for 3 hours. And then I ended off with like, Dad, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And he was like, I think you do. And so I decided, I'm not going to Japan. Okay, like, I don't know what's next. I'm not going to Japan. I have no school lined up. I have no job lined up. I have nothing. Like, I have no idea what's going on. A week later, we get connected to our now mentors and dear friends in Symmetry Creations who have been working in the comic industry for a very, very long time. And literally, they introduced us to the business. They said, you guys can do this for a legit job. You can do this. Like, we've been doing it for years. And I realized, like, oh my gosh, all these last several years that Gwen and I have been working on just something that we saw as a passion project, but we kept coming back to.
She saw it as just a passion project.
Obviously, I saw of it as a lot more, but I didn't think we could do anything with it, was the thing. It's like all these years was for a reason. We were meant to do this. This is what I'm meant to do. And so I went from having like a normal job and all this stuff set up to, okay, I'm going to start from scratch. We're going to go into the comic industry. People are going to ask us all the time, what's your real job though? And we're going to have to be like, it's what we do. It's the comics. And so we completely changed plans, and my whole like direction of life changed. I like to say I got a bonus reward in the plan with getting married to my husband and all this stuff. Like, everything just played out as it was ought to be. And once that happened, once we were told, like, you guys can do this is what you're going to do, and we sat and talked about it, we were like, okay, we're going to make a website. We're going to debut with literally nothing but a name. We're going to tell them that we're working on a series. We have no book yet. We're going to tell them all this stuff.
Yeah.
And we did free comic book day in Hanford, California at DJ's Collectible Shop. And we literally were like, the series is called The Bohemian Trials. Here is a little black and white splash page. It's just a picture of the cover in black and white. And here's a free sticker. You don't know who these characters are. We do. We've known them for 6 years now, but you don't know who they are, but you'll know them. And yeah, that was when we were like, okay, this is happening. Like, this is our job. This is what we're going to do. And yeah, it was so cool.
For me, like, when I was like, yeah, like, this is my career. Izzy, we're kind of just brushing over this because I know that we gotta go fast. Izzy was the first created character. Izzy was not a character originally. She was a depiction of my depression. And I struggled with depression at a very young age, like most people do nowadays, especially nowadays, technology and all this stuff, and being aware of everything all times. And I, over time, like, had my grown in my faith with God and stuff, and still struggled though, like, trying to find out like who I was, and constantly dealing with doubts, and always like that anxiety that you have that everyone's watching you, even though they're not. Nobody's watching you. Everyone's too busy focusing on themselves that they aren't watching you. And I think it was when I stepped back and saw Izzy's character become this, start from this depressing, very angry, hateful, spiteful character to seeing her now like being the light of the team. I was like, this is like who, this is my job, because this character is what I want to show people, that there is a way out of that stuff. There are walks and trials and tribulations that we have to go through, but there's hope still. Like there's, it's not impossible. And so I was like, this is what I want to do for my living. I want to be able to share these stories. I want to be able to have people connect with the characters, like no matter where they're coming from. But yeah.
You know what, one of the I'm like getting all sentimental about, because I mean I connect with you so much, because that's the reason why I created Psychology for Geeks as well, right? And like I know that this is, it's helpful for me to be a part of this like geeky community, and it's helpful for me to go out and like find connections and make friends and do art and all that stuff. And I'm like, well, if it's helpful for me, it's helpful for other people. But again, we kind of live in a society where like we often hear that's not a real job, right? Or that's not like, you're not going to make any money out of that,
All the time.
right? Or like I was saying earlier, like there's this sort of expectation of like, oh, you're going to get discovered, then you're going to start making millions, right? But nobody talks about like how hard you guys need to be working, like how focused, like how like you struggle with your own sort of like setting your own boundaries, like learning about yourself more, sometimes through the character, sometimes outside of it, and all of that sort of like plays a role into, you know, like that journey of creating something and then showing it to people. And again, that's why I wanted to like to talk with you guys, because we live in a very sort of like rural area. I grew up in a place where things like you kind of like leave the place where you were born and you kind of like never come back, or you come back to visit parents, right? But if you want to sort of like make it out in the world, you don't come back, because there is no, like, you're gonna end up working at, you know, McDonald's, or like, you know, out in the fields or whatever, and it's not possible for you to make it as an artist. And I'm like, but I've met so many people that have. It's just really hard work, right? And you have to find out about this is something that we discussed before in the Q&A, where like you have to like know about like the legal things, you have to know about like, you know, finances, and you have to know about so many things that usually you don't really have to know for like a job, right? Like if you become a lawyer, you have to know about law, and that's sort of like all you have to concern yourself with. But especially if you are creating something something completely new in an area where you don't really have that much support, or the support comes slightly different than, you know, what other people think the support is. Because sometimes I tell my parents, like, sometimes they feel bad. They're like, well, because now they're a lot older, and like all my siblings are and I are growing up, and like we're sort of like independent now. And then they're like, well, like, you know, they're trying to do things for us. And I'm like, you don't understand like how significant it is that you cook for me sometimes. Like, because I hate cooking, and it's so helpful, right? Like I don't even have to concern myself with like that meal for that day. So it's such like an impactful way. So there's like so many different ways of like helping each other. And again, like the reason why I created Psychology for Geeks is because I wanted to create this community, right? Like where everybody was able to like connect with either people online or in person that had similar interest. Because when and I know I'm just like summarizing everything I learned from you guys like a few days ago, because in 5 minutes we're gonna start with the art contest. So like that community that you guys had, they each helped in a very sort of like specific way that helped push you guys forward, right? But it wasn't like you guys had like a fairy godmother that was like, oh, and here's step 1, 2, and 3 in how you can accomplish this, right? Like even if you did, there was still that like finding the correct person to work with, like making sure that you knew what the storyline was going to be like, that you learn how to like draw, like I don't know, like specific things for it, or how to format them, as you was mentioning earlier. So there's so much like that happens behind the scenes. However, it is still possible. right?
Oh
Like
yeah.
to do these things. And that's what I wanted to people to know. And I was like, it's possible. Like it's happened. And like you guys also live in a like very rural area. And I'm like, so it is like it's not like a impossible dream, right? Like it's just like if you guys are willing to do it, and to like put in the sweat, blood, and tears into it, it is gonna be possible, right? And
Yeah.
you'll eventually find that community that is very supportive, even if you don't really have it right
And
now.
with things like you were mentioning, like it's hard doing these jobs where people go, oh, well, what's your real job?
Yeah.
The greatest thing that, and I know that we mentioned this last time because we covered a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Is like Cheslin put it very well. One, most of the time, those are the people first to line up for a Marvel movie or a DC movie, and behind that is a writer and an artist every single time. And people like I mentioned, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It was just newspaper and two guys, and that was it. And I think too, another good way of looking at it is we mentioned like I just lost my train of thought. It is a leap of faith to do this stuff. And most people who say, in fact, everyone who has ever said, like, oh, well, what's your real job? They have never even tried to take a leap of faith of doing something that they want to do like that.
Mhm.
Like, they all just
It's
get
so scary. It's so scary.
It is scary. And there's
Mhm.
nothing wrong with like working like a regular job that's safe. Like if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Like that's totally everyone wants to do different things.
Yeah.
And but I think that that's a huge way of looking at it, and you can't ever look at them with like anger or disgust. They just don't know because they never got to take a chance taking that leap of faith.
Yeah, and the thing is too, like one of the common responses we get with people who don't know anything about the industry and they actually want to like sit and talk with us about it, a lot of the time the first reaction is, that's a lot. I didn't realize like how much you have to do. And it's like, yep. And that's the thing, we kind of have to like take people's comments with a grain of salt when they kind of jump the gun and they're like, well, what do you really do? Or, well, that's just a hobby. It's like, we have to remember, like, those people simply just don't know, because people think like when they hold the comic in their hands or they watch a Marvel movie or DC, like their thought is just, oh, there was a writer and there was artist, maybe one who did both. But like that's all that they think. Like that's as far as it goes. They don't know that like even just on the writing side of my job, is script, lettering, copy editing. And that's just the writing side. That doesn't take into account the socials. That doesn't take into account running the websites and having to learn how to make those stinking websites, because that was so hard the first time when we were working with the Chess and Gwen site. The amount of problems we had, that thing sent me spiraling. But I had to learn. And,
I was clicking through it earlier, and I was like, "Oh, this is so nice!" And I was like,
"There was a preset. Learned how to use some presets and kind of adjust things to make it obviously be our own." But yeah, it took so much trial. One time I lost like years worth of work on the website in a single day, and there was no retrieving it. And I just went in tears because this is when we weren't in the same roof anymore. And she was like, "Take the rest of the day off. Don't even think about it. We'll talk about it tomorrow." Because I was gone. I was in tears. Like, we've had this stuff up for years and I've lost everything and all that writing I did and all the editing I did. And you have to embrace that stuff like that does happen. Like no matter how careful you are, stuff like that's going to happen. And, so you just kind of have to take it as it goes. But like it's that when people email us, they are talking probably to me. Like it's very likely they're talking to me. And so it's like all this stuff like is just extra stuff that we have to do for our job.
No. Okay, here, listen. So I was looking through the book yesterday, and I was like, well, again, you don't only have the same 6 characters that we talked about today, but then you have all the background characters. And then I was looking at it, I was like, because I think earlier in the day I had done like a painting stream, and I'm like, oh, this is so hard. And I was like, and the angles, and how did you know where they're standing in the building? And I'm like, oh, how long did it take to do all of these? So like again, like even if you just do the art for it, like there's still so much that goes into it, right?
That's like my entire day is like
she's all the art
to 2 pages a day. That's the entirety of my job. And then like because I do the social aspect for like our printer, the printing. Well, I do the social aspect for printing, but for like the social media aspect, like all of the art is stuff that I have to get done. So.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
mine's old, like art centered stuff.
The few video reels we did, and we'll eventually do again, but hardly because we need to focus on volume 2.
Yeah.
Like it was, Gwen, I need you to draw this, this, and this. I will do all the video editing, but you have to take all that time to make those drawings. Then she does all the drawings and she sends it to me. Or like we did a Bohemian Trials promo video to like that Gru song thing. That thing took me hours to make. And so it's like that stuff, like we're like, okay, well, we have to juggle, like, okay, we need to get some stuff online. We need to promote. Well, I'm going to lose some writing time, lettering time. So is it worth that? So we really have to juggle like what we do, where we stretch ourselves and how often we stretch ourselves, because it really, it takes time.
So I'm totally geeking out with like everyone in the YouTube comments right now, and we have a plan. You guys don't know it yet, but you will have to say yes now because it's you and we won. But it is time for us to talk and showcase the art that got submitted. So I have the top 3. I don't know if I should show like 3rd place, 2nd place, 1st place, or just randomly show them and then say who won.
I think we'll do step by step as we go through them, because
like do you want 3rd place first?
Yeah, we'll start. Don't show it yet, but we'll start with 3rd place. As I'm like introducing it, let me actually grab my little info sheet so I don't forget.
Yeah, like you guys don't understand how prepared these ladies are for this. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna stream. Yay, this is gonna be fun. Half an hour before the whole thing started, like I was like, oh, you know what? I can just do the whole thing on Canva. And I was like trying to figure out. Meanwhile, they have like these paragraphs on why they chose these things for like 3rd, 2nd place, and like everything that goes included into it. And I'm like, oh no. Yeah, anyway, the art contest was
I can leeway into that too. Before we go to the placements, let me make a couple points that we would like to make. First and foremost, everyone who participated, thank you for submitting art.
It was amazing.
Yes, like every single person that submitted something definitely put time and heart into it, and it made it very hard to narrow it down to a top 3. But we were like, we have to hold to our guns. We got to do it right. Because literally like every single person like put time into this, and we were so grateful for it. We were a little scared that we were only going to have like 2 submissions for the last 2 months, and then of course we get to 2 days before, and then that's when all of a sudden all the submissions start coming in, and it's a lot of people. Whoa, this is way bigger of a response than we were braced for. So now we really have to think and pick and choose. But we were like, okay, this is how we'll do this. So thank you to everyone that participated. We want to note too, like if you don't make it into the top 3, like that does not mean anything against your art, because we know, like honestly, it was a hard decision, and 2, there were fantastic submissions all around, and so it made it very hard. We voted on 3 different categories, which I'll explain too before we go into the actual reveals. And so it's not just like, oh, they didn't vote for mine was less than so and so's art. No, that is not at all the case. There were different factors that come into account that we wanted to do this to make sure we really honed in. And it also was the only way we were really going to be able to pick a top 3, because everything was great.
I was jealous of all of your guys' creativity, because so many times I was like, oh my gosh, that would have been so cool to implement. Gosh dang it. Like that would have been a cool Halloween print. Like, so
that's what I honestly, I downloaded them from like the email that you guys sent out, and I'm like, oh, this one's cool. Oh, this one's cool. But they're all like, they're cool for like a different reason.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was so many cool, like all of them were amazing. I was so excited to get to see them all.
Yeah. And so that's what we just want to make clear is, one, we're incredibly thankful for the response. Hopefully, if you participated, hopefully you checked your email and saw us pouring our hearts out, because we did. And just thanking you. And also, again, we just want to stress every single piece of work was sent in was fantastic. Yeah. And we just hope every single one of you continue to pursue art as you've been doing, and continue to grow and continue to just make awesome work, because it was unfathomable and extra exciting, because we're like, these are our characters being drawn like by people. This is really cool.
Yeah.
And so, so with that said, I'll quickly break down the way we did go through the judging process, because again, there was so much awesome art sent in. We had 3 categories that we did our judgment based off of. So our first category that we went through was just theme. Our theme of the art contest was hold on one second. Let me we interrupt this program with Gwen's dog being fed right now in the background. So if you hear some
yeah, they're like, excuse me, I know you're working and this is important, but I'm hungry.
I know. I was like, what is going on? We laid out what our time frame was. Anyways, so the first one was theme. The theme of our thing was obviously Halloween / spooky season. We put it that spooky season. That's as simple as we put it because we wanted to keep the doors opened. But that was one aspect we were looking at in the art contest is we were like, okay, did they meet just the starting theme? Like, does this feel Halloween? Does this feel spooky? Some people went in really strong with their art and like definitely touched the theme, whereas others were just boom, hit that theme right on the head. And so we were really excited about that. The second aspect we were judging art was obviously the artwork submitted itself. Was there time put into it? Can you really see that this person had a vision that they wanted to get on paper or on the digital screen? There's really great stuff put in there. And so can we tell that they put time into it? And we can say yes for every single one of them.
Yeah.
And then the last and final piece of judgment was actually, because it was so hard to pick again, was concept. Concept played a huge role in the final decisions that we were making because you can have a spooky picture and you can have really fantastic art, but how do you stand out? Some people had, like, everyone had a really fantastic idea, but some of these concepts really stood out to us where, like Gwen said, it was like, oh, why didn't I think of something like that? That's so cool. And so there's just a whole range right there that we're looking at. So basically our biggest factor was like, the longer we look at your art, are we getting more out of it? And so, that's how we did this judgment. And without further ado, we opened this contest like August 6th and we are August 1st. And we are now finally going to reveal the winners of our thing. And we're going to begin with third place. So without further ado, Elizabeth, if you would care to show third place's image.
I'm so sorry. Because I'm over here with like the YouTube peoples, and I'm like, wait a minute, you know what else we should do? Yeah. So we are making you guys work, so just So okay, this is, I believe, third place. Not that one. That is not what I meant to put up there. Wait, why is
it? Yes, I'm so glad. Thank you for having me.
Yes, there we go. There we go. In third place, we have Crash, who submitted Mummy Parker. And viewers can find Crash on Blue Sky under the username, hopefully I'm saying it right, lucas.bsky.social. You can literally see them in chat. So Crash in chat. So hi, Crash. Congratulations on getting third place. We again struggled really hard with picking our people. But what really stood out to us about this was, one, it was funny. We've always envisioned Parker as a mummy. That's why he actually ended up being a mummy in our art. So it was just funny that we were on like a similar page. But there were just little details that we really loved about this piece. One, the blue bucket was just so cute because the choice of blue. Clearly, there is a motivation in referencing Parker's eye color. That's so important to him as a character, and just as a behemoth, that we were like, okay, clearly there was heart put into this and research done. But the biggest, most exciting part was the concept. The concept played a huge part in this because when you look at it, you see, oh, he's in a mummy costume and he's under harsh shading. But if you look into the shading, you'll notice that Parker is not in a mummy costume in the shade. He's actually in his vigilante garb in the shade. And it just perfectly seamlessly blends into the mummy costume. He's got the beanie, he's got the scarf, and his puffy jacket. And so, Crash did a fantastic job. Like the username's been put in the chat if you want to find their socials. And so what we want to note too, and what we kind of hinted at in our participants email, but people don't know, is that we are upping the prizes. And so Crash, you will be getting what was originally second place prize. And that means you'll be getting a free signed copy of the Bohemian Trials along with the entire sticker set for the series. So congratulations. Thank you for submitting. We really love this work.
Congrats.
And we have a feeling every Parker stan is going to love this artwork as well.
Yeah.
Now we will move on to second place. Let's see.
I'm like so distracted.
You're good. Yes. Okay. In second place, we have Isla. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right, because they submitted like a little pronunciation tab, who submitted Timekeeper Soul Collector Laya. We really love this art piece. You can find Isla under the username @printer.paper0 on TikTok. So this was one of our TikTok viewers. We are very new to TikTok, so we were surprised we reached out to some people that way. But there were several reasons we really love this art piece. One, obviously, like we said, we have our 3 categories. You can see the spooky season incorporated into it with the ghosts. It's just very creepy overall. Totally matches right on theme. When it comes to the art direction, there was so much detail that we really had to take in. And in fact, so much so that we only just caught one particular detail a couple days ago, even though we've had this piece in our inbox for a couple weeks. That detail was, when you look at the piece, you see Laya's got the clock ticking. The whole background is surrounding the concept of Laya having time manipulation as an ability, but obviously in correlation with the aspect of time, everyone's clock is ticking, and so she's collecting the souls. But if you could zoom in really close, you would also know that in her red eye is another clock. I was like, hold the phone. There's so much detail. Did they really make her eye a clock? They did. And I was like, that is so cool. And so when it came to that, when it came to the details, and also down to the concept, we loved the concept. It was a really unique way to incorporate Laya's ability. So again, it was another one of those times where we get to see someone really honing in on, okay, this is the character I'm going to use. How can I make that person really scary? And so, yeah, congratulations. And we also want to note, second place winner is actually kind of the major motivation as to why we upped our prizes. And the reason we say that is we struggled so hard to pick between Isla's work and another individual's work. Hello, Isla. We struggled big time picking between. So much so that we were like, they just deserve a really good reward. And so, without further ado, and the first time we're going to announce this, second place will be receiving the original first place prize, and they too will be drawn into volume 2 of the Bohemian Trials. So we will now have 2 contestants drawn into the books. They get the signed copy of the Bohemian Trials volume 1, and they get the entire sticker set as well. So congratulations, Isla. We are absolutely blown away by your work, and we cannot wait to be in contact with you about getting you all set up to be depicted in our volume. So
yes, we are so very excited.
Yes, we are.
We love it so much.
I didn't even enter the contest, and you guys were talking about it, and my heart was like, and I was like, I have no part in this, but I'm so excited for everyone because this is so cool.
Yes, literally, it is very exciting, and we were like, because it was such a hard decision to make, we were like, okay, we'll just give it to both. We can still categorize, but we'll give it to both, just because it's a huge reward, and the work clearly deserves it, and so that's why we're gonna do that.
I can't wait to print everyone's art and put it on my wall. So
yes, every single one, we gotta we've saved them and kept them, and so we'll probably have a collage of every single art submission on our wall soon to just be like, yep, this is people that put time into our characters, and we're really appreciative. But yeah, congratulations on getting second place. Both Crash and Isla, keep an eye out for your email, because that's how we're going to contact you to get you your prizes and things like that. Okay, now we move on to the most anticipated one of the night and the past couple months for us. The first place winner of the Bohemian Trials Halloween Art Contest. Boom. The winner is Brooke, and Brooke submitted the Ghost Hunter Adrian, or Ghoul Hunter Adrian art piece Brooke can be found at b.ram_art on Instagram specifically. And we have a lot to say about this one. But as you can see, why we also struggled between the two.
Yeah.
There's so much going on in this picture, just like with Isla's art, and even just like with Crash's art, with that, you need to look at it a little longer to get everything out of it. This was one where the longer you look at it, the more you catch on to it. For one, just like the other two that got in the top 3, you know that these people really put time into the character that they were working with. We have abilities incorporated with one, we have like reference to the costume at the other one. This one tackles both of that apparently. We had stared at this one for a while before we even realized that there's the bunny print on the pajama pants.
Yeah.
Just like
I just saw that too.
Yes, just like Adrian's actual vigilante form. So we were like geeking out. But it's done in such a lighting and way where it's still so creepy and eerie, and all the skeleton details are just like they're crawling and trying to grab at him. And
Adrian, a ghost hunter, correct?
Yes, yeah, like ghoul, ghost, that kind of thing. And they incorporated the use of portals. You'll notice that Adrian is opening a portal behind himself, and he's using that portal to pull out his weapon of choice against the ghouls. And we were like, that is so cool. And actually seeing the portals drawn in color and things like that was just something we were really excited about. And so, this is the first place winner. Congratulations to Brooke. Brooke will also be getting the original first place prize, but we're also going to throw in some extra stuff because you're first place. So you'll be getting the collection of posters for the Bohemian Trials characters. Thank God we just restocked on those because we need them too. And you're also getting drawn into Volume 1, getting your signed book and the stickers as well. And so keep an eye out on your email. We have a lot to talk about to try to get 2 of you drawn into the volume and all 3 of you your prizes.
We look forward to seeing you 2 in Volume 2.
Yes, very much so. So thank you all very much for participating. Thank you to the 3 of you for your for your participation and for the fact that you guys won. That's really exciting.
Everyone's art was absolutely amazing, and hopefully, Lord willing, if we get to do something like this again, we would love to see everyone's art again. It's so cool.
Yep.
To see it.
Okay,
it's
listen.
So awesome.
Part of the conspiracy that I was doing with the YouTube chat right now earlier is that it's 2 things that I kind of had mentioned to you before, which I really want, especially for since Christmas is coming up, I wanted to do a buy one donate one for a local library. So other people in chat are also interested in having that happen. So just so you know, we kind of do want this to happen.
Yeah, we'll have
there's that. That the other one is I think we would like to work with you guys again to potentially do another art contest for next year. The prices and stuff will can be a little bit different than this one, but then because I'm like, well, I want to see all the other submissions too. So I was like, what if we have we do this again? We can potentially show all of the art and then reveal the winners at the end.
We could probably do that after Volume 2 is out, because then it also gives variety of characters and stuff that people.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
One would be really cool to see.
Especially one specific.
I totally, because I missed the one workshop that you did with us for the character creation. So I was telling people online, I was like, what if we can have her do another one for us so we can prepare for this for the next contest. So again, we're just making you guys work, but again, it's all in your own time, and if only if you guys are interested. But there is interest online and on my part as well. Wait, I have so many ideas. I can't. I was like, yes, a Christmas themed Bohemian Trials art would also be cool, wouldn't it?
We gotta be Volume 2 done. Hold up, let's give you more content, then we can do more. Things.
We'll talk later.
But that doesn't mean we can't have it. You know what I mean? Anyway, so we think that would be awesome. And congrats again to all of the winners who participating, for coming here today, and for supporting Chess and Wen in their journey for publishing their manga. So I have tons of ideas. the people demand certain things. So we will be in contact.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
sounds
I'm
good.
saying.
Yeah, and
Yes.
as for someone asked about other submissions, we might get some honorable mentions on our
Mhm.
story. We're back and forth on it, so we'll see. You might get to see some more art,
Yeah.
that was submitted, because again, there was just so much. But that's the thing that's hard, is like, it was already hard enough picking 3. Now you want me to pick honorable mentions, and I have to debate more, and it's like, it's a little hard, okay? Especially like, I'll just show everyone at this rate. That's gonna be a problem. There's a lot, and so we'll
Well,
see. We'll
Yeah.
see.
somebody just posted it's okay for the fandom to be feral together, and I'm like, that's what I'm saying. So as we wait, we can create our own art. And listen, if anybody has any theories as to what happens to the parents and how come what's his face is living with like another family, please let me know, because I have my own theories. Okay. So if you guys want to discuss, yes, let me know. I don't know how. Did you guys have a place for the fandom to hang out, or not quite
Let's
yet?
see. We don't have like a social place quite yet. I mean, we're just across all the socials right now and things like that on our website. We've
I
got
think that's just another thing that would, like, for a social place, it's a little hard right now from where we're at, because that'd be another thing we'd have to monitor.
yeah, it'd be another thing that we'd have to be in charge of and monitoring and things like that. So that's the only thing that
Well,
complicates it.
you
The
see.
closest thing we've got right now is you being on our newsletter, but then you like don't know who else is on the newsletter, so that kind of defeats the purpose.
You guys could always chat in the Instagram comments when we post stuff.
Yeah, Instagram's our main hub. So if people wanted
Yeah.
to just start being like, I'm gonna start a fun little group chat over here in this comments, and you can't stop me as I'm spamming, I'm gonna be like, that's fine. Like, do we want?
Well,
We'll say hi sometimes too.
we did earlier talk about the importance of having a community, and
Yes.
we are now part of your community as well, so we can definitely help out with that. Aka because I really want to talk conspiracy theories with people. So I would chat with you guys afterwards about some potential things that we can do. In the meantime, somebody also made a comment where you can just use the hashtag the Bohemian Trials, like really
Yeah.
in any social media, and then that will make it easier for the rest of us fans to
Yes,
find you
yes.
on any
We
other
tag
social media
everything
as
under
well.
that title, so if you start throwing in tags in there, we can actually start seeing what people are doing and talking about, which would be nice on our end, because especially when you're at the point where we are right now, we're going to have to really pause a lot of the outside things and just focus on getting this volume done. It starts to get to a point where you're like, is anyone out there? Does anyone actually care? Does anyone want to
We
read
know that
this?
we're still working.
We're working really hard, and we hope you know we're working really hard. But we have to be really quiet right now, and so I think if we got to see stuff under the tags, that would be like the
that would
Bohemian
be
Trials
awesome.
is the ideal tag to be using, because then we can just know where people are and what they're doing and see if anyone's
Get to see all the
also
Parker fans.
if you submitted art in the contest and you didn't make it into the top 3, or even if you did, if you want to post it online and get it out there too, do it. Like, we will gladly be like, look at this person doing it too. And stuff like that. So it's not like it was like, oh, you made art but you're not allowed to share it online. Like, no, you can totally, especially now that the contest is over, share it out there. Halloween's in 3 weeks, so we've got this is like the time to do it. Everyone's jumping to like so many different sites: Tumblr, Blue Sky, Discord. Let's slow down for a minute. We appreciate the help offers, but we also got to get ourselves centered.
No, they said they'll do like fan.
Fan.
Yeah, just for us. Yeah,
Cool.
we have
I
our
only saw that bottom one, so I was like, slow down. Like, we barely made a work account for Discord, and that was just. I know. I got it now. What I was saying was my brain was like, I barely made an account for Discord. Like,
no, again, like this is where like community comes in, right? Like, because again, we were just talking about like we just have no idea everything that goes into you guys creating this, and I know you guys were talking about like we want to like publish the second volume like really fast, but we got delayed, and I'm like, hey, things happen, and like we're okay, but like now we have sort of like a community going, so we can sort of like keep each other up and like we can talk, because you guys also talked about like there's like things that are like hinted at. So I'm like, okay, now we have to go back and look at them. In the meantime, anyway, I'm like so excited about this. So Okay, so we did say hashtag the Bohemian Trials. The other thing I would highly recommend then is for everyone, if you haven't done so, to sign up for the newsletter. Where can they do that?
Go to straight to chessandgwen.com. If you could type it, because it was like I have to connect to your YouTube, but I don't know which YouTube account I'm on right now, so we're not going to do that. I don't know if it's my work one or my personal one. But you can go to chessandgwen.com. There's the home bar with a bunch of tabs. Literally, one is titled just newsletter. You click that, type in your email, and you'll get added to our newsletter. And so you'll only get we won't spam you. This isn't like you're going to get an advertisement once a week. If anything, we've emailed everyone like 7 times this whole year. So you won't hear from us too much. It'll just be like, hey, we're doing all these fun events in the next few months.
Email hopefully may be update on printing.
Who knows?
You got a couple months.
Well, no, the next one will probably be, hey, Chapter 7 is available digitally.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, I heard that. That's so
yeah, so that'll probably be the next announcement we have. Yeah, you can say how much pages are.
Chapter 7 is 76 pages. So you guys will have more than a quarter of the first volume. Second volume.
Yeah.
So, yes, you guys will have a meaty chunk of content. Hopefully real soon.
Yes.
Real soon.
Yes.
Very soon. I'm lettering away as fast as I can.
So everyone in the comments is pretty much in agreement that take your time. We will wait. In the meantime, we will go feral online with the other fans. Okay, so you guys are a lot of your information, including the how to sign up for the newsletter and all your socials as well. It's at chessandgwen.com.
Yes, everything you can find on there. I will say too, if you start using the hashtag at the Bohemian Trials, just make sure if we have the platform, which would be Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, /X, whatever. Just make sure you tag us too, so that we're in the loop, and so that people can quickly click that link. Okay, now I can go to the website, so that people can find us faster too. That'll make it easier for them too.
Wait, good point. Somebody said, in the meantime, buy the first volume, stickers and posters, and I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, you can collect stickers now because there's 4 of them.
Yeah, so right now the website. Right now the website is sitting on an ash can, the volume, and 1 sticker. So I have to update our merchandise online. Once I can get that posters, we haven't added to it yet because we still have to figure out how much if it's worth the cost right now. So right now it's only been at in-person events.
Mm-hmm. Where are your next? I was like, where do your next event? Where do I need to go to get these stickers?
Yeah, our next event, if you want to come catch everything and not wait for us to figure all that out, we're going to be at Animania on November 1st and 2nd.
That's true.
That'll be in Fresno, California. So if you can get there, you will find us there. We're gonna
get a friend to send them to you.
Yes, that too, which we've had happen before. So if you want to get a hold of stuff, you can do it that way. We play games at our table too, so you can play some fun games with us. And
we like to always hear too, if you've already bought a book and you want to come talk about it. We love to hear all the
and we do special things. If you've bought a book, you can come get it signed if you haven't, because either way we sign books there. But if you get a book, you also can get 1 poster half off.
Yeah.
So if you're like, I really, really love this character and I want this poster, you can be like, hey, I bought a book. Can I get my poster half off? And we're like, yeah, we can, because you bought a book and you're supporting us. So yeah. So just come see us, come hang out, play some games with us. That personality test that we didn't really get a touch on.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, we play that at our table every event. So you can, if you catch us, you'll be able to do it that way, and stuff like that. So it's really fun. It's really fun. And so
wait. There's a person who said they're on the other side of the country, and I'm like, but you know what that means? That means that we have to do another Q&A later.
Yeah,
so we can do that game. Yeah.
And so so we'll be, when we have time, we'll be updating that and stuff like that, because right now we're on the 4th edition of the sticker. We are going to be making a shift come this Free Comic Book Day, because since our debut, every year we drop a new free sticker on Free Comic Book Day. But financially, that is a really bad way of going about it. So we're changing our free merch. You're getting something new for free instead now. come this free comic book day.
Can we still get a sticker though? Like a new sticker?
You can still
Like for
buy
us to
this. Like we're
buy?
still gonna have a new sticker. Yes.
Oh, okay,
It'll
yes.
just be buy one for a couple bucks, like a buck or
Okay,
two.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's just we're just changing the layout a little bit. We were just like we've been doing this for a couple years, and it's a big financial hindrance to us. And
Well,
all
not
that.
our
And the
first
thing
year.
is, all
been
the
hard.
well, yeah, all the thing is like a lot of that finance needs to go to printing the next volume. So we gotta stretch
Mhm.
ourselves a little better. So we'll be switching up the free item, but we'll still have new stickers dropping on free comic book day like we've been doing. So you'll still get to see that collection grow over time. Right now, there's 4 editions. Obviously, you have the first 3 are duos of our each little duo from our character from our team. The first one obviously being Laia Adrian, next one being Izzy Jason, and the final one being Nick and Parker. And then we have one other duo that we won't name directly because they're in volume 1, and you get to see their faces, but you only know one name because only one says it, and the other goes nameless.
Wait.
And so,
I'm like, wait, what's the name?
yeah,
Okay, okay. So, we don't want to take too much of your time as we geek out. So, okay. In summary, join the newsletter. Follow other socials. They are going to be at Animania in Fresno. So if you want to get stickers, you want to get signed volumes, they will be there as well. In the meantime, I will work really hard on the fandom's behalf to get some cool stuff going for online for people who cannot make it in person, and also because there's so much that we didn't get to say today because we just didn't have enough time
yeah,
for me to
yeah.
ask you all these questions, and we had so much to go through. So we would love to do this again, and so yeah, there's lots of new things for us to expect in the future. Um, Also, if you guys would like to learn, we didn't get to that part either. We kind of hinted at it in terms of like mental health and like setting boundaries for ourselves and self-doubt and all that stuff. But Psychology for Geeks does, like, our goal is to create a safe and inclusive community for us to geek out about this stuff. um, if you would like to learn more about fun ways that you can incorporate your hobbies as a way for you to do self-care and take care of your mental health, you can check us out. You can, whether you're watching or us through YouTube or Twitch, feel free to subscribe to us. I believe Chess and One also have a YouTube you can
Yes, we
subscribe
do.
to,
Yes, we do.
so you guys are ready whenever they release something
Yes, I know.
on there. And in the meantime, I do, because we, again, I was I was colluding with chat earlier, and then I was like, I did record, like, a voice record the Q&A that I did. It's just it needs to be edited a little bit, so we talk about that if you guys are okay with us releasing that on
Yeah,
YouTube, so everybody can get I guess an inkling of what everything
oh yeah.
that we discuss and all that stuff. So again, like, there's a lot of things that are coming up and that they're working on, so stay tuned for sure.
Yes.
Comments are going on, I'm like, oh, what's going on? Yes, I mean, I did also, again, there's so many ideas that we have, because we do have another library that I have been wanting to, like, Chess and went to do like events there, and we're getting to that point. So eventually, like I said, like, things are coming, but certain things, take time because they are busy doing volume 2. Life happens, they also need to sleep, and other things are happening. So but yeah.
Woot, woot.
Okay, so thank you, ladies, for joining us today, and
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Yeah.
well, thank you for being so open and honest about sort of like your own journey about doing things, because I know sometimes we encountered a lot of barriers trying to break it into like a specific profession. This doesn't really necessarily have to do just for like in the art
Yeah.
area, like profession. Like it's really in like everything. We have sometimes people are not as open or willing to share, how they worked or what the process was like for them or what didn't work for them, so you don't make the same mistakes, kind of thing. So uh again, thank you for playing with us today and for sharing everything, including some of the not spoilers, but I guess things for us to look forward to in volume two, and definitely looking forward to volume seven, because we ended up at a cliffhanger, and I'm like, dude, like what's gonna happen next? Definitely interested in that. So yeah, so if you guys are watching this afterwards, not live, please do join us, our socials, our subscribe to our channels for Psychology for Geeks, so then you can participate and you can ask questions, and be here for the fun events that we will be doing later on for sure. Because now I have their email and I will be bombarding them with ideas later, so it cannot escape from me anymore.
Gonna have a follow-up email that's like, here are my personal questions about what you're doing with your series.
Honestly, I was like, when can we meet in person? Because I have questions. Like,
yeah, as the creators, I can't say anything. I'm gonna break.
Yes. The VOD will be available on Twitch for about 14
I know
days.
too much.
I think it's also available on YouTube as well, because we are streaming on both. So if you didn't catch like the first half of it, you can go back and watch it. And again, like the more the not only just going to their booths whenever they have events and getting their merch, but also sharing their content and like making comments and stuff like that. That is also very, very helpful. And again, like I just keep saying this because this is again also what Psychology for Geeks is all about. We are all about community and helping each other out, right? So if right now you're not able to help in the way that you wish you could, likes, comments, and shares are also very helpful, because then they will help the algorithm, and then other people that are able to help in this moment are also they would get that content as well.
Yep, it just takes the right person for it to land on, for more people to hear about it.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, I never know how to end these things because I always have like more I want to talk about. But thank you, ladies, for joining us today, and thank you everyone in the chat that participated and submitted their art for the art contest. Congrats again to the top 3 winners. Can't wait to see you guys in the second volume. So yes, stay tuned to your email, because that's how you are going to be contacted by Chess and Juan.
Yes.
And yeah,
and just because we have your email now does not mean you're subscribed. So like if you got the art participant email but you want to get subscribed to the newsletter, you still have to actively go to that page to do that, because you're in a separate category listed participants.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
It's so much fun.
Yes,
talk and chat.
Yes,
and yeah,
me too. Okay, well, yeah, this is the end of today. We totally went over the time that we said, but look forward to more of this from both sides, Psychology for Geeks and from Chess and Wen, and we will see you hopefully on our next stream, or we will see you around in the community so we can talk about like theories that you may have about what happened and what is the government doing, and where are the parents. That's
Psychology for Geeks Discord server is just going to have a Chess and Gwen section that's locked, and anyone that adds it, they could be like, did you read this part? Did you think that?
I was going to talk to you about that. Yeah, so stay tuned. And we will see you in the next one. Oh, and don't forget to reframe and re-enchant your life. Bye.
Bye.